Hello there. Good morning to you. You're welcome. This is GHOne TV, and you're watching GH Today. And we're excited on this nice Thursday morning. You've tuned into the station that gives you nothing but your best experience. And on this nice Thursday morning on GHOne TV, we've got a great show lined up for you. We've got very interesting discussions coming your way that we definitely want you to be a part of. And so we encourage you to join us on our Facebook live stream. Join us Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube. Just use the handle GH1 TV and you'll be able to connect with us on any of these fronts, and we'll be very happy to have you on board. Let's begin with our quote of the day for this morning. Well, our quote of the day this morning is the purest expression of every emotion, earthly and spiritual. Dance is the purest expression of earthly emotion, every emotion, earthly and spiritual. So, dance. Dance and be happy. Sometimes when you dance, you're able to shake off a lot of the things that, or a lot of the emotions, negative emotions that you're feeling anytime that you dance. But of course, let's now take a look at our video of the day this morning. Still watching GH today, and it's time for Court Today. And Murtala Inusa, the man who always brings it to us, is here in the studio this morning. Murtala, what's up? How is the morning going? How's the morning looking
the
like?
Morning is looking
it's a
good.
nice Thursday morning.
Yeah, it's a nice Thursday morning. I'm a Thursday born, so today is...
Oh, you were a Thursday
yeah,
born?
Thursday
Interesting.
born. Brian. So
Brian.
Yeah, today is my
okay,
soul day.
Brian Murtala. Brian Murtala is
So today is my soul day. It's
Thursday
actually a very nice morning to wake up to see and all that. So it's a bright start.
Okay.
Yes, bright start.
Well, since today is your
my soul day.
your soul day.
Yes.
Hey, is that how it's pronounced?
What do you have?
Soul day.
So what do you have? For
It means you were born on a Thursday, right?
yes.
So it's your soul day.
Absolutely.
You are doing a direct translation from Akan, Okrada. So your soul day. This is direct translation.
Direct translation.
Isn't there another way to say it?
Sometimes it is allowed.
It's allowed.
Which other way?
My soul day.
My soul day.
Hey, this one, I've not heard it before. I've not heard it before. My soul
Then
day. Okay.
you have not been following social media. If you are following social media,
I know
if you are active on social
but
media.
the soul day, no, is the one that I've not heard before.
You know those days when you were in secondary school.
Yes.
You meet a senior say, "Bommy soak." You remember that time?
Bommy
soak. Play me soak. If it's do me, prepare Gary, absolutely. Play me soak. Bommy soak. So direct translation.
That's what they used to say in your school.
Yeah, some of them.
In my school, nobody said bommy soak.
What can I say?
You just say do soakings for me now.
Yeah, I have no idea.
You just say do soakings for me.
When things are happening within the dormitories and other stuff, you have no idea. Things go on there. But when you come to public, you just make it look like, yeah, nice.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Well, so on this your soul day, what do you have for us? What's coming up on court today? The Democracy Hub case. So
yes,
the last time we spoke about it, we didn't know the fate of Oliver Barker. That was yesterday.
Yes.
But I think yesterday he finally came through the courts. We had reports that he wasn't feeling very well.
Yes.
And he had to be taken to the hospital and all of that. So tell us what has been happening with Oliver Barker. You know, Felicity Nelson also,
yes, she was
who has been one of the vocal voices of the Fix the Country movement and all of that. Yeah. What's been happening?
So the whole action started on Tuesday. Started from Tuesday, and Tuesday, some 39 persons were arraigned. All of them remanded. 11 of them into prison's custody, and then the remaining went into police custody. So we were told that Oliver Barker and the remaining will be arraigned yesterday. And yesterday, around 2:30 p.m., that was when the police arrived, and you could see the environment, the atmosphere, the way the police lined up. We were wondering what is happening. Then the police van, bus arrived, and then so we're hoping to see Oliver Barker. Earlier, I picked up information that he wasn't on where the lawyers released a statement urging the police to allow some medics to allow for some medications and all that. So around 2:30 when they arrived, Oliver was not part. So when the case was called, the charges was put before the court, we noticed that there were 13 names, including Oliver Barker and then Felicity Nelson. But the accused persons that were brought, there were 11. So then, where are the two?
Where are the
extra two? So when the case was called, initially, when they mentioned the names of the accused persons and they responded, they noticed that the two were not there. They even omitted one person, Felicity Nelson. So Dr. Justice Remsai, who is the counsel for one of the accused persons, indicated to the court that at this particular point in time, one of the accused persons who have been arrested, she has been brought to court, and the charge sheet before the court, her name was not even part of it, and the 48 hours is a pass. So they were wondering what has happened. Then they have to go back and we omitted the name. And he also sought for time to have conference because they say that they have tried all means possible to get closer to their client. They couldn't. So it is only the courtroom that they were allowed that. The judge listened to them and granted them 30 minutes to be able to have conference with the client. Initially, you could see the representation. Dr. Justice Remsai, for instance, was representing two initially. So after having conference with them, then it came to light that he will represent three of them, including Felicity Nelson. And the reason sometimes you see a lot of accused persons and one lawyer representing two or three means that when you listen to the stories of all the accused persons, some of them have identical stories to tell. So those people, if they have one lawyer, it is good. But if they have conflicting stories, accounts, it means that you can't have one lawyer for them. So they have to have separate lawyers. And so when that happened, the case was recalled, the names of the accused persons were mentioned. Then the judge asked prosecution where Oliver Barker and the other accused person were. So that was when they produced a medical report telling the court that yes, Oliver Barker and the other accused person, they were unwell. And for Oliver Barker, he's at the emergency ward unit of the Ghana Police Service. Police hospital, I might say, and the other accused person was supposed to have come with those who appeared on Tuesday, but because of his health condition, they have to ensure that he's okay. So that's how come yesterday. So the two were absent. Then the charges were read to them. All of them pleaded not guilty: conspiracy, unlawful assembly, causing unlawful damage, offensive conduct in the breach of peace, defacing of public notices. They deny all of them. Then, unlike what happened on Tuesday, yesterday's was different because the lawyers who represented the accused person individually moved bail application for all the 13 of them, including those who were not present.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
So the bail application, unlike the previous day, which was done for all of them. So this one, the lawyers did it on a case-by-case basis on every single individual.
So Oliver Barker was the first accused person. Dr. Justice Remside took time to say that, look, the man is not well, currently at the emergency unit. Discharge him and let him have time to heal and then to be able to defend himself. Then he came to Felicity Nelson, that's one of his clients, made a case that this is a 34-year-old journalist. He's known, and this charge is misdemeanor. How would such a person run away? She will avail herself to stand trial. Then the other accused person were told that, the other client of his, were told that his parents are even ex-police officers. So somebody, a barracks boy, is always available to stand trial. And all the lawyers moved, including the 13th accused person that the lawyer said, upon having conference with him, he realized that the man is not consistent. He's so inconsistent, he's incoherent with his thoughts. And the court, he is of the view that he's mentally not stable, so he should be discharged. The court said, look, I have listened to all of you, but because of the time that it took for each of the lawyers to make bail application for all their clients, it took time. Yesterday, as of 5:50 p.m., the judicial service or the court closed at 4. That's the official time for closing. But that's at 5:50. We were still sitting. So when all the lawyers were done with their bail application, the court said they are remanding, or it is remanding the accused persons into custody for a day. So this afternoon at 1:30, the court will reconvene for prosecution to respond to the bail application. They decided that they are opposed to that in any way. So we will listen to the argument, and now the court will have a balanced assessment of all the submissions made, and a determination will be
whether
made.
or not they will give them
Absolutely,
bail.
yes.
So it looks like these lawyers of these 13 accused are learning from the seeming mistake. I don't know whether to call it a mistake, but from the approach of those who represented the earlier 26
earlier, yes, they were
39 actually, who were all remanded, some into police custody, some into prison custody, because the bail application was moved for all of them
fact, those
at a go.
In prison custody are 11. For them, they didn't move any bail application or anything of a sort because the plea were not taken. The only thing that lawyer said that I was short-served and I need time to be able to.
So they were remanded into prison custody.
But the remaining, they just made the lawyers who represented them made a bail application in respect of all of them at a go. So once you pick the individuals, sometimes the court, if you pick it individually, sometimes the court may grant that person bail. It will not grant the other because of the situations or their individual stories that surrounded all this. So I've been speaking to one of the lawyers, yes, especially the lawyer whose client is suggesting that he's not mentally
stable.
So let's hear from one of the defense lawyers in relation to what happened yesterday.
I represented 2 of the accused person, and one is at the police hospital. So we requested from the court for an unconditional release of the accused person as he needs medical attention. And also, one of the accused person I represented is someone who is not fit to stand trial because of his condition. Because from the incoherent speech of the accused person, one can visibly see that this person needs medical attention at the psychiatric hospital. And this is someone who was promised that if you ask any policeman, you said some things in Hausa to that policeman, the policeman will obviously give you food. So he only needed a policeman to ask him for food, and the policeman directed him to the next policeman, who detained him because he approached him for food. So that person is obviously someone who is not fit to stand trial. Almost all the accused persons have different lawyers. So if all these different lawyers are urging on you to grant bail based on different conditions, one can only expect that the court will adjourn to consider same and rule on same tomorrow.
So that's one of the lawyers,
Absolutely.
right, of that individual speaking and explaining the situation.
As part of making bail for that particular accused person, he's a car washer. He's been washing cars for some of the soldiers around. So they made a point to him that if you need something, if you see us and you need something, and they give him a term in Hausa that say it to us, we'll give it. And then when he met the police officer, he said it, and they directed him to the court. So that they have arrested him. Oh. So that is the story.
That's his story.
That is his story.
It'll be interesting to see, because the prosecution will come tomorrow, like you said, and then we'll see if the court is going to, who the court is going to grant bail and who the court is going to remand. So that's happening today, right?
Yes, that will happening today at 1:30 p.m.
It's interesting how all of this is playing out. But anyway, the last time you told us about the launch of a plea bargaining guideline.
Absolutely.
And some lawyers and other people who work within the judicial service and the legal, framework were being trained with regard to plea bargaining and how it works and the do's and the don'ts and all of that. So tell us how that has been going.
So, in recent time, plea bargaining has been introduced into the Ghana justice system. And so, day in and day out, we are having new lawyers, new attorneys who come on board and all that. And the Office of the Attorney General has now come up with a guidelines, a clear guideline that will ensure uniformity, that will ensure that whatever processes that are used in Accra, it is same used in the Volta region, Ashanti region, wherever you go, whichever court you go, how accused person can start or initiate a plea bargaining processes and all that. So on this was launched the whole week. In fact, the whole week is used to train state prosecutors. They are in the Eastern region right now, going to end tomorrow and all that. So they took the opportunity to launch the plea bargaining guidelines. Tomorrow I'll bring a copy and probably we'll go through and see some of the few things that we could share with our viewers. But let's go and hear from the Deputy Attorney General, Alfred Yeboah, about this whole launch.
By offering a structured approach, the guidelines are expected to enhance judicial efficiency, reduce case backlogs, and foster a more responsive justice system. The formulation of these guidelines is the result of extensive consultations and collaborations among various stakeholders, including members of the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice, members of the judiciary, legal practitioners, law enforcement agencies, and representatives from civil society. Their contributions have been invaluable in crafting a document that reflects the diverse needs and expectations of our justice system. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to all those who have dedicated their time and expertise to this important initiative. It is our hope that these guidelines will serve as a vital tool in achieving fairer, faster, and more effective justice for all. I urge all stakeholders within the criminal justice system to acquaint themselves with these guidelines and to implement them in their daily practice. Together, we can ensure that the administration of justice in Ghana is not only efficient but also just and equitable. Thank you very much. On this note, it is also my honor once again to launch the plea bargaining guidelines for the Republic of Ghana.
So the plea bargaining guidelines have officially been launched.
Absolutely.
And that's the Deputy Attorney General Alfred Chayebwa, launching it and telling us, what the plea bargaining guidelines will do, especially for the justice delivery system here in the country.
So it ensures that there are certain crimes. The prisons are always congested.
Yeah.
So one of the ways to decongest the prisons is using plea bargaining. Not all offenses are covered, but some of the offenses that you can negotiate with the state for a lesser punishment, you plead guilty, and then you decide that instead of going to court or you going into prison, you pay this fine or that, and then ensure that this thing is done.
Or you give valuable information which could, lead to the arrest of
the other
criminals who are involved in it and all of that.
The guidelines is clear, things that you can do, things that you cannot do, and who starts the initiative. And it's always have to be the accused person who have to initiate. Attorney General is at point whether to accept or not to accept. So that's a discretion.
Okay.
All right. But one person has also been speaking in relation to this whole subject matter, and guess who the person is? The Director of Public Prosecution.
Okay.
Mrs. GHOne Atakra Ubobisa. So let's hear from the DPP about these whole guidelines.
Allowing for the resolution of cases without the need for prolonged trials. It ultimately saves judicial resources and ensures timely and equitable justice. So the guidelines have been developed to provide a standardized framework for the administration of plea bargaining under Act 30 to promote fairness, transparency, and consistency in the plea negotiation process, ensuring that all the parties involved are treated equitably. It's been a long journey to get where we are today, and we would not have been able to have the plea bargaining guidelines as we have them today without our collective efforts. All attorneys have played a vital part, but we want to give particular commendation to those who actually work hands-on. So we want to acknowledge and appreciate the U.S. Embassy who assisted our team of drafters. So, Mrs. Evelyn Wilkinson, can they be outstanding once their names are mentioned? Who was the chairperson of the team? Mr. Richard Jembibi, Executive Coordinator. Akosia Dansua Etiama Christopher. She is not here with us today. Emmanuel Pesi Oparingwe from the Eastern region, and lastly but not the least, Nana Aisha Salifu. Their insights and expertise have been instrumental in producing this comprehensive and practical framework for the administration of plea bargaining. We hope that the guidelines will serve as a valuable resource, not only for state attorneys, but for all legal practitioners and all stakeholders in the criminal justice process.
Right, so that's the Director of Public Prosecutions, right?
So all the prosecutions,
and also acknowledging all the people who made it possible for this to be a reality.
To have these guidelines to be able. So one question that I've been asking the Deputy Attorney General, she herself, as to whether before the guidelines were into, were there any challenges, were there any infractions? They said no. We didn't have so much challenges. There are no major challenges in relation to how it is being implemented. But we felt that it's necessary to have a clear guideline that everybody, or all prosecutors and all accused persons, but they are saying that this is not a springboard to invade justice. So if you think that you go and commit a crime and come and use plea bargaining, that one, you have to reconsider this one. So that's it in relation to what we have for our viewers and court today. So stay tuned for updates from the courts.
So that is Murtala Inusa bringing us court today on his sole day.
Absolutely.
Brian
in the mix, yes.
Brian in the mix.
In the mix, yes.
Okay, in the court mix.
Absolutely.
Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Murtala. So So that's it for Courts Today here on GHOne TV. And it's time for us to take a look at the headlines in the various newspapers. So on today's papers, we're beginning from the New Crusading Guide newspaper, the big headline: Baumia's digital solution to revolutionize Ghana's transport industry. It's featuring in the New Crusading Guide. Also, TDC to commence construction of 832 housing units. Ghana's economy is a resilient rise to prosperity. Also, Yagbonwura honors Abujanapok for promoting development in Damongo. Mauko Kwaji honored by Casting Society of America. Free SHS has transformed 5.7 million lives in Ghana, Akufo-Addo tells world leaders. And Blaze investment to rescue Ghana football with FIFA-approved hybrid pitches. So that's it for the New Crusading Guide newspaper. We move on from the Crusading Guide to the Ghanaian Times. At the UN General Assembly, would hold free, fair, transparent elections. President assures the international community, because we have an upcoming election here in Ghana on December 7. We have 72 days more till election 2024. And this is what the president is assuring the international community. And I believe he's giving that assurance to us here in Ghana as well. Tidal waves threaten power installations within Abuaze enclave. Vice President tours Aguna West, East, and Gomwa Central to canvass for votes. And also, gun toting illegal miners threatening fisherfolk on black voter. Inland fishermen president reveals. So that's the Ghanaian Times newspaper. And we'll move on from the Ghanaian Times to the Daily Graphic. The banner headline: President Akufo-Addo at the UN General Assembly says that Security Council needs an overhaul. Structure is deficient in addressing global challenges. So he's talking about the UN Security Council there. Also, Student Loan Trust Fund disburses 20 million Ghana cedis to students. Winner takes all system must stop. That's also there. And also 32 journalists and media houses nominated for awards. We're talking about the GHOne Awards. So that's there on the Daily Graphic newspaper. We move on from the Daily Graphic to the Daily Guide, which says, let our people go. NDC defense protesters, 11 more remanded. We know that there are petitions that I believe have been signed and are being taken to the Attorney General and other quarters, demanding for the pardon, or should I say release, of some protesters who are arrested during this weekend's Democracy Hub protest against illegal small-scale mining. 11 more of them have been remanded. Of course, on court today, you heard our court correspondent Mutala Inusa talk about what happened in court yesterday and the day prior with all of these individuals being remanded. None of them have been granted bail. We don't know if later on today any of them are going to be granted bail. But there are people who are demanding for the release of these individuals. I know the Attorney General has not heeded to those calls yet and believes that they have to go through the process, but it still remains to be seen if the Attorney General's department is going to succumb to pressure to let these individuals who protested go. Nana to Gray 75th GJ Awards winners have been announced. So look at that as well. ECG boss resigned. So Samuel Dubik Mahama has been the managing director of the ECG for quite some time now, and it came as a very big surprise that he resigned. But yesterday he tendered in his resignation and indicated that he is resigning because of personal reasons. And he indicated that during his time as ECG managing director, he's been able to achieve some successes, including reducing transmission losses, and some of the losses that the ECG has been doing. It was well within the 30% range. He's been able to bring it well within the 20% range, and Samuel Dubik Mahama, we know, has been one of the most visible ECG managing directors that we have had in recent times. And he's been at the forefront, trying to make sure that ECG is more efficient in collection of bills and making sure that there are no losses and what have you. So it's coming as a big surprise that Samuel Dubik Mahama has decided that he's going to resign. And all of this is coming amidst reports of load shedding. At least the minority in Parliament is alleging that there is load shedding. And there is also information coming in that some of the plants that do not have enough gas, they use gas, and they do not have enough gas to be able to to be able to produce the electricity that they should produce for us. And they are not able to do that, which is resulting in some load shedding here and there. And the energy sector is beginning to shake a little bit, because if the ECG managing director is resigning, what does this mean for ECG itself and the efficiency of ECG, and moving forward, how ECG is going to run its operations? The board of ECG is actually still in place, and there are some energy experts that are also calling for the board of the ECG to be dissolved, because it will be meaningless if Samuel Dubik Mahama resigns and then the board of the ECG is still there. So there are some energy experts that are calling for the board of the ECG to also resign. And in all of this, the minority in Parliament, like I've been telling you, is pointing to some $40 million monthly fuel purchase that is unavailable, right? Because we need this fuel of, gas, essentially is what it is, to be able to run some of the thermal plants that we have. And if that money is not coming in to buy the gas, it's going to lead to load shedding. And so that also needs to be addressed. And all of this is also coming in the wake of the PURC sending, a letter to government, right? PURC is sending a bankruptcy letter to government, to the presidency, that looking at the current situation of ECG, if something is not done, ECG is on the verge of bankruptcy. ECG is cash strapped. ECG needs money. It's very interesting what's happening in that regard. Excuse me. So is government, I'm just asking myself this question, is government just sweeping the issues of ECG under the carpet, and someone Dubik Mahama resigning is just something that we're going to gloss over and then just sweep it aside and it becomes business as usual? Or is there going to be something proper happening in the energy sector to make sure that our lights are on? Because one of the things that this government has always said is that we've kept the lights on. The government says there's not been doomsday, especially the former energy minister, who is now running mate to Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia of the NPP. He says that they've kept the lights on. There hasn't been any doomsday. So I believe that the government will want to keep it that way. So these issues need to be looked at very critically and very seriously, right? Because everybody is wondering what really pushed Samuel Dubik Mahama to resign. So that is one of the news that is coming in. Is it as a result of elections? I don't know. The speculations are quite a lot. So that's also there. So we'll now take a look at the Chronicle newspaper. On the front page of the Chronicle, ex-Hearts goalie player roots for Bawumia. Ali Jara and Bobby Short promised to lead ex-footballers to mobilize 4 million votes for the NPP. Interesting. So that's there. Also, Vice President to launch a groundbreaking digital solution for local taxi drivers. EC equipped to conduct free and fair election, President tells the UN. And Yagbongura under Samuel Jinapo. And also TDC ready to construct more houses. So that's all there on the Chronicle newspaper. Now we'll move over to the Daily Statesman newspaper. On the front page of the Daily Statesman newspaper this morning, December elections will be free and fair. Akufo-Addo reassures. Bawumia to unveil digital solution for local taxi drivers. And Ghana deepens diplomatic relations with Madagascar and St. Lucia. And also, TDC begins work on 832 housing units. So that's it for the Daily Statesman newspaper. And we move from the Daily Statesman newspaper to the Daily Dispatch newspaper. On the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper this morning, we are not leaving 2024 elections to any court, the NDC warns. Also, a digital solution for taxi drivers to be launched by the government. You know, the Vice President has been talking about having a sort of app, which is like your Uber or your Bolt or your Yango, which will be for taxi drivers as well, which will enable the taxi drivers to also have access to more passengers to enhance their businesses. We've heard the Vice President talk about some of these issues, and it looks like that is what is going to be launched very soon. Does the position of a party on the ballot have any advantages? Does it? That's a question that is being asked on the Daily Dispatch newspaper. All the parties know where they fall now. Some of them didn't make it onto the ballot box, and some of them have gone to court. I think the CPP, the PNC with Ben Abona, they've all gone to court because they believe that they have to be on the ballot. But there are 13 candidates on the ballot paper. You know, from number 1, I believe, is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. We've got a Kwiadonko in there somewhere around number 3. We've got Kofi Akpalu somewhere in there at number 5. We've got Alan Chamanting at number 13. We've got independent presidential candidate Alan Cheddar at number 12, I believe. And, you know, at number 10, also, we've got another independent presidential candidate there as well. So the NDC is occupying the number 8 spot, and already there are all kinds of slogans that are being coined and all kinds of significance being given, you know, to the number 8 spot. They say they are breaking the MPP's 8 years of corruption and mismanagement and all of that. And the MPP also saying that, well, they are number 1. If they are number 1, it means that they are definitely winning. And so when you go look for them, you know, are number 1 and all of that. So does it have any significance? I don't know what your thoughts are. This is perhaps something that we'll get into subsequently here on GHOne TV and bring you some analysis, you know, on that. But yeah, it's there on the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. So that should do it for the Daily Dispatch newspaper, and that should effectively do it for the newspaper headlines this morning. We'll take a short break and return. When we return, we'll be getting into the breakfast review segment. My guests will be here in the studio, and we'll get to talking. There's quite a lot to talk about on the show today. Of course, talking about the president assuring that there will be free and fair elections. We're talking about the NDC and Alan Chamanting writing to the Electoral Commission, demanding for a forensic audit of the voters register because they believe that that needs to be done. And also, some more Democracy Hub anti-Galamsey protesters have been remanded. We'll talk about all of that. But before we go, though, let me just tell you that if you like what you see on me this morning, if you like what I'm wearing, this was made possible by the Authentic Man. Yeah, Authentic Man provides me with my suits every day to make sure that I'm looking dapper and sharp when I appear on your screen. And if you want to look as dapper and as sharp as I'm looking, just contact the Authentic Man and he'll sort you out with your suit. Are you attending a wedding this weekend? Or do you want a regular suit to go to work? Or do you want a special suit to go for an occasion? Do you want a double-breasted, a single-breasted suit? Do you want a tuxedo? Do you want a dinner jacket? What kind of suit are you looking for? Contact the Authentic Man and he will sort you out. Call the Authentic Man on 0243 029494 0243 029494, and the Authentic Man will sort you out. Stay tuned. This is GH Today. We'll be right back.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Emmys Africa Awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it. My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICCU, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running. To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts. I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup. Because on a production you see a number of people in the van. And so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets. And so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it. It looks huge, but very affordable. Cost is really, really affordable. My experience with it, EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Miss Africa Awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICCU, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter or host in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the track and do business with it.
It looks huge but very affordable. Cost is really affordable. My experience with it, EMI Awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
And you're welcome back to the show. You're still watching GH Today here on GHOne TV on this nice Thursday morning. It's time for us to do the breakfast review segment. And my guests are seated here in the studio. Quite a number of issues that we're going to touch on. We'll be touching definitely on the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, assuring the UN General Assembly that in Ghana we're going to have a free and fair elections. He's going to ensure that. This is not the first time that the president has made a statement like that. Even before he went to the UN General Assembly, right here in this country, he assured that what is left for him to do is to ensure that there is free and fair elections, and he'll make sure that he does that. So we'll talk about it, whether or not some of the events that are leading up to the elections will ensure that there is going to be a free and fair elections, especially in the wake of the NDC sending a second letter to the EC. This time around, Alan Chamanting joined the fray, and they're asking the Electoral Commission to conduct a forensic audit of the voters' register because they believe that the voters' register is problematic and something needs to be done to clean the voters' register. And then after that is done, a re-exhibition needs to be done. That is what the NDC has been demanding for, and they embarked on the demonstration. As a result of that, a massive demonstration across all the 16 regions of the country. And of course, they presented their petition to the EC. But the EC has not heeded to those calls yet, and so they are taking the second step. Do we really need that forensic audit, as has been the conversation in the past couple of weeks? We'll talk about that as well. And of course, more Democracy Hub anti-Galamsey protesters we know have been remanded into police custody, some into prison custody. Some of them have been denied bail, and bail application has been moved for some of them yesterday. We're going to see the end of it today in courts. Meanwhile, there are petitions that are being sent to the Attorney General and other quarters demanding for the release of these Democracy Hub protesters. Should that be done? Or should they go through the process and face the rigors of the law if they have done anything wrong, or eventually set free if they are found not guilty? These are the issues that we're getting into on the breakfast review segment. Now, my guests in the studio this morning from the NPP, Fad Osman is here. He's a member of the communications team of the New Patriotic Party. Fad, good morning.
Lantam, good morning, my brother.
How are you doing today?
By the grace of Allah, we are doing very well.
You are doing very well.
Very well. We are here.
That is good to know.
We have life.
It means everything is fine.
No, life can never be fine.
Your pocket is fine.
No. You see, life
Everything is fine.
Life is such that there will always be challenges. That is life. And that's how we grow. So through overcoming those challenges, we grow. So certainly there will be challenges with life. But we need to appreciate where we are and give the thanks to Almighty Allah for seeing us through. The difficulties we've all gone through. We do admit that we've never shied away from that. So this morning, let me say good morning to yourself and to our viewers and to the leader of my party, His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. He continues his bold solutions tour in the Western region today. And it has become a very interesting campaign. Looking at the atmosphere, the momentum gathered so far. You know, elections are all about momentum.
Yeah.
So if you're able to gather momentum, explain your policies. It's very, very significant. How well you explain your policies and how well it goes down to the people makes an impact. So looking at so far, the atmosphere, the momentum, we are very certain that these elections, Ghanaians will renew our mandate.
Ghanaians will renew the mandate of the NPP.
Of the NPP. Looking at the
election.
These elections.
Is that why you've picked the number one spot?
Well, I believe God has his own way.
Do you think it's significant?
We believe that, see, positioning, I am coming from the political marketing point of view, and a lot of factors goes into political branding. There is this paper, I think, authored by Professor Kobe Mensah, Political Brand Architecture. A lot of all these factors plays some role in how you brand your political parties. But then, that is not the case. We believe that what we've been able to do in these 8 years, and what we promised to do when given the opportunity, Ghanaians will vote for us. For instance, look at what Dr. Bawumia is saying, that let's look at how best we can partner with our private sector. We've been saying all these every year. the private sector is the engine of growth, right?
Yeah.
But what is the deliberate approach in giving them the necessary opportunities to grow? Dr. Bawumia is promising a new regime that we are going to move close to 30 billion Ghana cedi of government expenditure to the private sector. So this is a deliberate attempt to empower the private sector. So this is an opportunity that the private sector will be taking advantage of. 30 billion of government expenditure, 3% in terms of GDP to the private sector. And this is going to give them the opportunity to build roads, build hospitals, build schools, hostel facilities, and lease them out to government. One beautiful policy. Second, look at SME Development Fund. No, the SME Development Bank. We all know in this country, one of the largest businesses in this country is SMEs. It cuts across every sector. Dr. Bawumia is saying that let's have a bank that will not only offer financial assistance, but then will give them the technical assistance that they require to also operate effectively and efficiently.
All right.
So these are some of the policies we are explaining to the good people of this nation. And from where we sit, we believe very well that Ghanaians are buying into our policies.
You believe the message has gone down well.
Lastly,
this is just your introduction.
This is just introduction. Lastly,
lastly, all the time.
Lastly,
you have to pay for the campaign that you are doing.
I believe it's part of the discussion.
You have to pay for the campaign.
Lastly, Dr. Bawumia is promising one area in terms of how we can empower our persons living with disability. Today, Free Senior High School had come to give them access to secondary education. Bawumia is looking beyond secondary education. Now let's give tertiary education free to persons living with disability. So these are some messages, and there are a lot of them. And we believe
some of your messages seem similar to what the NDC has also been saying, especially to the last point that you made. You are focusing on persons living with disability. You are focusing on first year students.
You see, in social settings,
first year students and the what do they call it? Is it the admission fees? Academic user fees also. I believe it's going to be scrapped.
I'm very interested. I believe my brother here. I believe my brother here will be able to give us more detail on that particular policy, because from where I sit, in 2010, 2011, I was a student, and I was made to pay utility charges under President Mahama as president of this country, under Professor today the running mate of the NDC as Minister for Education. We were made to pay Nana Jane. We were made to pay utility charges of 500 Ghana cedis per student annually. So if today they tell us that they want to give us academic user fee, I don't know whether it's academic user fee or the entire school fees, because academic user fee.
No, it's academic user fee.
That is just a portion.
It's not the entire school.
That's just a portion of the entire school fees.
Interesting.
So what we are saying is that, see, in every society,
but you are promising only for persons
living with disability, because we believe that in every society,
but everybody else will pay.
Everybody else will pay.
Okay.
But persons living, but then
that's fine.
Everybody paying.
Let me come to my next. These are just your introductory remarks, so it's okay.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
You've made enough points.
Thank you very much.
Also in the studio is Chris Bilabi. He's a member of the NDC's communications team. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Lantam.
How are you doing?
The good Lord has blessed me.
That is good to know. So it means everything is fine.
Oh, well, once I have life.
I mean, once the good Lord has blessed you,
that's right.
You're looking very nice in your smock this morning.
Once I have life.
And you have life.
I am blessed.
Everything is fine. Yeah.
Let me say good morning to your cherished viewers, yourself, your production team, the good people of Ghana, the leadership of the great NDC, my immediate boss, the next MP for Abu Asebu Kwamankase, Honorable Felix Fufusukwache, and the people of AAK, the people of my own constituency, Tetele Sangule, and the next president, of course, the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
You believe strongly that he will be the next president?
Oh, why not? The grounds are leveled. My brother,
the MPP also believes that the grounds are leveled and the message has gone down.
Let me tell you something. When you hear political parrots go around to say we have a message, the message has gone down. This year elections is about records. It's about records. I've just heard him that he was a student, he paid academic user fee under NDC. So he doubts.
And he paid utility fees.
So he doubts. If the next NDC government will clear it out. Forgotten. People who are going around. Your government, the MPP leader, the vice president who have been in power for 8 good years with this mess, is going around telling people that the flat rate, he will introduce flat rate when people have paid huge amount of taxes at Harbour under his watch. What of that? Look, he talk about policy. Lantam, policy is different from sloganeering. Policy is different from sloganeering. That's why I say these are political parrots.
I believe they are just putting out
parrots. No, I mean, please, we have heard it.
When they say they will give disability,
look, these
people living with disability free tertiary education.
Persons with disability
will
get free tertiary education.
It's sloganeering.
It's something documented by NDC in our manifesto. Go to MPP manifesto. Where do they state it?
Okay.
This is a desperate vice president.
So they stole that policy from you.
Ask them. They should show you where they lined their manifesto before NDC.
Mm-hmm.
The MPP lined their manifesto before NDC. If they have that idea, if they have that iconic policy in mind for persons living with disability, why didn't they state it? Why was it not documented? Immediately, President Mama and NDC came out to read, document it in our manifesto. Then they pick it up, they stole it, going around, parroting, thinking that they can take Ghanaians for granted. This time around, no. Let me tell you, Ghanaians are not going to reward fraud. This year elections, 8 years of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia Akufo-Addo presidency, leadership, what they've taken Ghanaians through, Ghanaians are not ready to reward them with that. We are not rewarding fraud. Ghanaians are not going to reward intimidation and impunity. Ghanaians are not going to reward day-life thievery, robbery. Ghanaians are not ready to reward a government that will come and dig a hole and employ doctors to be hole managers and be paid huge amount of money, almost 30,000 a month. Ghanaians will not reward that. Voting for Akufo-Addo, voting for Bawumia and Napo is rewarding corruption. Lantam, I'm over 40, so for that matter, I'll say I am grown. I've heard corruption.
Yeah.
I've never seen people counting corruption using their fingers on their thumbs on their tongues to make the finger slippery to check whether the corruption money is up or not. Myself and you, we witnessed it, we saw it under this government. The government officials licking their fingers and counting corruption money because it has become an institution under a corrupt Bawumia Akufo-Addo government. And you think Ghanaians will reward that? The policies, it's about policies, and policies are there. It's not about parroting, talking. It's about implementation. You don't hear somebody bring an iconic policy, you jump here and there as if a chicken with that head because you are desperate and say, I will also do it. We don't do it by mouth. It's about what? Implementation. This is a government that lacks common sense because they don't consult. Engagement.
You're saying this government lacks common sense.
Yes. Government
isn't that harsh?
Oh no, Lantam.
Isn't that harsh?
If it's harsh, I'll take it out.
Isn't that harsh?
But to me, I don't see it to be harsh.
And the government doesn't have common sense.
Why? So if you ask me, Chris, why? Chris, why? The impunity, the intimidation, provoking the system. At this crucial moment, we are in election year, few months to election, if there is common sense. Will people in authority be provoking the system?
Intimidation in what regard?
Ordinary citizens.
Intimidation in what regard?
When well-meaning Ghanaians decide to go out for their constitutional right, they have been picked, remanded in prison custody, denied bail. Myself and you, I'm not a lawyer though. And I don't pretend to be one.
But there are charges that have been preferred against
That's what I'm saying. I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be one.
I'm sure you've also seen some of the videos.
I'm coming, please. I'm coming.
Of some of these protesters
Agreed.
engaged in acts that are against the law.
Look,
so should they be allowed to go?
Lawyer Martin Kpebu Attorney General case has made it clear.
Every offense is bailable.
Every offense is bailable.
Right.
But these people have been denied bail.
But it's at the discretion of the court.
That is why
if the court believes that they have reason to keep them, and it's spelled out in the Criminal and Other Offences Act, I think the Criminal Code also, circumstances under which a court can deny people who bail application has been moved for bail.
No,
and it's at the discretion of the court. If the court believes that because of ABC, they don't grant you bail,
I don't disagree with the court discretion.
Yeah.
That is why I'm saying that Ghanaians are not going to reward this impunity.
But anyway,
Ghanaians are not going to reward this lawlessness.
We'll come back to that.
We are not going to reward that. Nobody will reward thievery and corruption and stealing.
All right, Chris. We'll come back to that. But let's get into the real issues here, right? Beginning with ensuring a free and fair election as promised by President Akufo-Addo, right? So, Fad, one would say that there are certain utterances that have been made by members within this government, within this administration, that doesn't engender confidence that they are ready for a free and fair election. For example, one will point to the Agric Minister Brian Champong, on political platforms talking about never handing over power to the NDC. The president himself, at a point in time, has said, I'm only going to hand over power to a next MPP administration. And people have said that, well, if this is the posturing that is being adopted, it doesn't engender confidence that we are ready to ensure a free and fair elections. But here is the same president at the UN General Assembly telling them that, hey, I'm going to ensure that there's going to be a free and fair election. Do we take the president for his word?
Certainly, yes. Certainly, yes. Because he's the leader of this country and he has a responsibility to play in these elections. Very key responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And it is important that we emphasize that since 1992, if you look at our elections so far, the processes we've gone through, the reforms we've made so far, one can only say that the New Patriotic Party has been one of the strong, had a strong voice in some of these reforms. And seeing where we are today, at least we are all looking for fair and transparent systems, right? So if you look at the systems today, let's put aside all the commentaries made by individuals from our party. Let's put them aside. Let's look at the systems in place for elections. How well are these systems to ensure free, fair, and transparent elections?
But can we really put the comments that individuals within your party have made aside,
campaign platforms,
including the president himself, who has also made similar comments?
I sit here this morning.
Condemned by some civil society organizations.
I sit here this morning,
among other things.
I sit here
really
this morning.
Set it aside?
You see, I sit here this morning as a rep of the New Patriotic Party, speaking on behalf of the party.
Right.
And from where I sit, I can also make some statements based on what I've seen with our strategies moving towards these elections, that we're going to win these elections. And everybody out there should believe this. Our viewers and our party supporters should believe this, that we are winning these elections. And we keep saying this based on the strategies we are putting in place within the confine of the laws. You get the point? So there's nothing wrong with any political actor making those utterances. But what is significant in these discussions is that what are the systems in place? That the system ensures free, fair, and transparent elections?
Does it?
That is the question.
Yeah.
And I believe the systems in place ensures free, fair, and transparent elections. We've gone through elections, as I already emphasized, or as mentioned earlier on, Lantam. We've seen some progresses within our electoral processes. Let's be confident that this election will be free, fair, and transparent. And let me also say this, it will be violence-free. Because with the New Patriotic Party, we've implemented a lot of policies that we will not allow anybody to take the peace of this country for granted. We are going to ensure that this Fourth Republic continues. And the president has also given a very significant statement. And I think the platform he had is very significant and huge. An international conference, right? So it is a right platform to make the call. Because if you look at what is so far being said here this morning, then people lack common sense and all those statements. And looking at the push of the NDC moving towards these elections clearly means that they want to prepare the grounds for chaos.
How?
That is how. I'm going to tell you how.
How? Because
Lantam, if your position 8 years ago on the matter is that if you identify any discrepancies on the voter roll, EC has laid out processes and procedures in addressing those discrepancies. That was the position of the NDC in 2016. We've heard the General Secretary of the NDC, former General Secretary, currently the National Chairman, who is my uncle, we are from the Tetuenchi area, the National Chairman, 8 years ago, told us in this country, Lantam, I believe you have the records, that if you identify any discrepancies on the voter roll, the Electoral Commission, being given the mandate, has some laid down processes. And one of those processes is exhibition exercise, right? So meaning according to the CIs that we use to run elections in this country, we have proper laid out channels in addressing discrepancies. What have changed? Why a new posture? Why this posture? Demonstrations everywhere. And the idea is very simple. As I told you, prepare the grounds for chaos. Prepare the grounds such that, and I'm very certain, you know, a year ago, as our leader indicated, that a year ago, the NDC were in a very convinced mood. They were winning these elections, right? A year after, when campaign started, the enthusiasm, the momentum gathered so far, they've come to realize that it's not going to be an easy match for them. So let's prepare the grounds for defeat. When we lose these elections, we go out there and tell the good people of this nation that we told you there was a lot of discrepancy on the voter register, and as a result of that, we will not accept the defeat.
So, are you dismissing the issues?
I am
the issues that the NDC has raised.
I am dismissing the issues.
Dismissing the issues. You don't think it has any legitimacy?
No, I'll never do that. It will be hypocritical. I'm very hypocrite to make those statements. But what I'm saying is that based on the position they showed 8 years ago, right? And I've given the references. Instances to statements and a lot of statements made by former President Mahama when he told us in 2016 that if you have any challenges, address it to the EC and allow the EC to run its mandated functions. That was the former President Mahama's position.
Yeah.
What has changed today? That is, I believe.
Well, their demands are on the EC, isn't it?
No, what have changed?
Their demands are on the EC.
So they should leave the EC
to do the whatever. Forensic audit.
Allow the EC to run its mandated roles and responsibilities. Allow the EC to do that. That was the posture of the NDC 8 years ago. So Lantam, in explaining some of these issues, it's very important that we accept that the president of this country, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has been one of the key individuals looking at the lead up to this Fourth Republic. His contributions can never be underestimated. And I don't think he'll be in the position to want to jeopardize the successes we've achieved so far within this Fourth Republic. He's going to ensure that we have a free, fair, and transparent elections. Whatever is required of him as a leader of this country, the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, to ensure security is important, Lantam. So he's going to provide all those things to ensure that we have a credible elections this year. And whoever wins these elections, and as I've indicated, we from the New Patriotic believe strongly that based on our achievements, based on our records, and what we are promising, and based on the strategies we are putting in place, we are winning these elections. And if I say
you are winning it free and fair,
and
square,
free,
without
fair,
any machinations,
with nothing, we are campaigning. See how Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is campaigning. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is campaigning as if he's in opposition. Whilst the opposition leader is in Accra, responding to Mr. President is Accra here. Have you met him in Accra before? When you meet Mr. President, they like that.
Is that so?
Oh, I'm telling you. Whilst his opponent, who is the vice president, is down there campaigning, 9th day, in the rain, in the sun. So if we tell you that we are winning this election based on strategies, we know what we are saying. And we are saying this because we are certain, looking at the records of this New Patriotic Party's government, under Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo's leadership, my brother, and looking at Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia as vice president, he's the most impactful vice president within this Fourth Republic. If we want to talk about the personality of the two candidates in these elections, my brother, as I indicated, I'm a political marketing person. There's something we call the brand of the party, right? The individual or the candidate is very, very important. The policies and the party itself. Look at Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and his opponent, former President John Dramani Mahama. He has been vice president before. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has never been president before. So if you want to assess the two, look at the vice president post office and what they've achieved with that office. I'm asking you, I'm going to leave that to you. Mention just a single initiative that was advanced by the office of the vice president under John Dramani Mahama. There is none. The only one I remember very well, and we're told by the late president, Professor Ivan Swifi Atamos, that the XTS Korea deal was supervised by the office of the vice president. Can you show me a single block or a single housing unit that was constructed in this country under the XTS Korea housing deal? Can you show me one? There is none. But if you pick Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, you can mention close to 33 policy initiatives that were advanced by Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. Currently, as we speak, Lantam, we have one of the biggest or the largest medical drone systems in the whole of the world. A system that was once upon a time described as taking pictures of our naked mothers in their washrooms. Do you remember? That was how trivial it was being addressed. So please, when we are speaking on issues, I know Ghanaians out there, and I'll also say, let me say this. You see, we do admit times are a bit hard. But let's not also forget the fact that currently, mid-year this year, cost of living and rent index had shown that if you look at where we are today in Africa, we are positioned at 8th. That's the highest 8th That's the high cost of living in Africa. If same period 2016, we were on the second position. So it should tell Ghanaians this morning, irrespective of the challenges we've all gone through, we've still been able to maintain a position in terms of high cost of living, which is a bit lower than what we inherited in 2017. So look at this. If we were still in 2016 and they were still in office today, and we were the second ranked nation in Africa with high cost of living, imagine how we'll be struggling here today. So clearly, what we are saying is that we know that we've done some good things and we had some challenges. And based on these good things we've done and the promises we have provided, when the both solutions Dr. Baumia is professing, we are very certain that we're going to win these elections. We don't need any external forces to win these elections.
And it's going to be free and fair.
2016, we were in opposition. We won these elections with over 1 million votes.
Yeah.
It has never happened in this Fourth Republic.
Yeah, but that reduced in 2020.
500,000 votes.
Yes.
It's only President Kufuor who won 2000 election with over 800,000 votes. We lost 2008 in time with less than 50,000. We lost it with 49,000 votes. Just a constituency. So look at you put the records together. So we are very certain.
So this should give people confidence.
Ghanaians watching this morning
there will be a free and fair
assured.
elections.
Should be rest assured that this election will be free,
you
fair,
trying to get the EC to do anything.
Whoa, that's very serious.
Someone would say, because I've heard some people within the NDC, for example, say that, I mean, if the EC doesn't have anything, to hide, why don't they just open up themselves for a forensic register? And, the NPP is also saying the NDC should provide evidence to the EC of whatever issues that they have. If they don't provide evidence and then the EC goes ahead to do the forensic audits, they also demonstrate against the EC.
You see, the opposition is very simple. You allege that these are the discrepancies, right?
Yes.
I'm told yesterday I had one of their national officers. I'm told Dr. Computer, something like that.
Rashid Tanko Computer. He's a deputy director of IT and
that they have met civil society and other senior media personnel in this country.
Yes.
They've shown their evidence to them.
Yes.
That's what he said yesterday. I expect them to show the same evidence to the entire nation what the discrepancies are. You cannot tell me, based on the face value, that you've identified 250,000 names unauthorized transfers, and yet you cannot provide the details.
Well, they also say that they always refer to the issue of Pusiga, right, where some names were transferred
illegally.
Case. And the EC has dealt with it. I mean, very recently, I think in court, the court ordered that some over 500 names should be expunged from the register in one particular constituency. I believe you know about that issue as well. So they are pointing to some of these issues that if these things have happened, and there was a low turnout with regard to the exhibition exercise and what have you. So let's do a forensic audit and then re-exhibit the register so that some of these issues can be, because if this has happened and you have admitted that this has happened, who knows what else is there that has not been discovered yet? And even if we've not provided evidence and you don't have anything to hide, you submit the register to a forensic
precedent
audit.
Is very important.
Right? Is there anything wrong with that?
Precedent is very important. Just because somebody is alleged does not necessarily mean we have to sit up and look at all those issues.
Yeah, but there are some things that have happened which may give rise to reasonable suspicion that there are probably issues with the register. So let's do that. So to engender confidence in the voting populace or the voter population, why don't we just agree and submit it to a forensic audit? If there is nothing wrong with the register, hallelujah, praise the Lord, it's a win for us. If there is something wrong with it, we deal with it and still. So it all inures to our benefits either way.
Nobody's running away from that.
Yeah. So,
but the interesting thing is this.
So what's the issue?
After the 6th September meeting between the NDC and EC, the EC told them that submit your evidence to us.
Yeah.
We're going to invite you to a table where we can have a proper discussion and see the way forward on these discrepancies you've identified.
Right.
That is the laid out processes. Per the CI. Do you get the point? And even exhibition exercise in itself is an audit mechanism. Do you get the point? So just because you have suspicion shouldn't be the justification for us to bend the rules of the game. Do you get the point? The rules of the game is that exhibition offers you the opportunity to identify discrepancies. And when you identify these discrepancies, you draw the attention of the EC. The EC invites you, you provide your evidence. Just like in 2016, 2015, 2016, when we came up with this Togolese register issue, you remember very well?
Yes.
We were asked to submit our evidence. We submitted the Togolese voter register to the Electoral Commission of Ghana. Unfortunately, they rejected the evidence. Do you know why? Because they told us that it's not an official document coming from the EC in Togo. Do you get the point, Lantam?
Yeah.
So what we are saying is very simple. And what the EC is also saying is this. Submit your evidence to them. The EC will invite you. Look at the letter yesterday from our former friends, the Movement for Change. Yeah. If you look at what they've outlined, very reasonable. They are calling for a committee, right? A working committee that will sit up with a consultant to work around.
Yeah, to audit the register.
You see,
it's all audits, right? So, because when they call for a forensic audit, they've not necessarily outlined a particular way it can be done. So there are many ways in which it can be done.
Why is it that after the first meeting, that's on the 6th September meeting, when EC told them that submit your evidence, we're going to invite you for a sit-down discussion. Why are they running away from that? That is the question.
Right.
So if indeed they have some evidence, they should please do us the good, submit the evidence to EC. EC will do the right thing. And we are all very confident that where we are today, my brother, let me say this on live TV. Nobody can make you the president if Ghanaians don't vote for you. Because in 2016, they had all the state apparatus on their side. Yet they lost with over 1 million votes. So can you really believe that if we are to lose these elections, somebody, a third force, will change the verdict of these elections? No. That impression should be thrown out into the dustbin. What is important is that the people of this country will be voting come 7th December for number 1 on the ballot paper. And
let me come to Chris.
Will be sworn in on 7th January 2025. Thank you.
Chris, you've heard what Father said. You believe that the president will ensure that this election is free and fair, like you say?
Well, Lantam, before I, stick to the issue on board, let me just make this quick rebuttal to clear the air. Lantam, you see, this is usual, rhetoric and political parroting of NPP that Baumia is the vice president who have achieved so much. If lies is achievement, then indeed he has achieved.
Okay.
This kind of, pretentious achievement, packaging Kiso to sell to people as mobile phone is over. We are in 2024. The NPP must come along. And that John Dramani Mahama as vice president and president has never donated expired goods, foodstuffs for the people of the north to eat. And that President Mahama as vice president and president, what was the exchange rate that you compose songs on that? You use that to do campaign. He's telling me the only achievement, the only initiative that President Mahama initiated or the work he has done is about ATS deal that President Mills said. Is that not so? President Mahama never gone around this country to lie to the good people of Ghana as vice president and president. Baumia 15th August went to Tamale and said, the people of Tamale, I have good news for you. The king of Saudi is coming to build a medical school. They are constructing a medical school for the people of Tamale. What happened? He went to Cape Coast. The people of Cape Coast, I have good news for you. We are constructing an airport to Accra. What happened to it? These are barefaced lies from a liar, unrepeated liar. So if lies is an achievement, Baumia has achieved it. But an attempt to parcel this key soap and sell to Ghanaians pretending it's a smartphone, Baumia has been unmasked. 8 years of Dr. Baumia as vice president. His crass incompetence that he has demonstrated, he has been unmasked. And no one listened to him. When Baumia goes round, the campaign that he's doing, wherever he touched and he's talking, people listen to him as a liar. The liar has come. Let's hear what he has to say and go. What didn't we hear from this man? What did he say? He said so many things in this country. The result is zero. So this is a man Ghanaians know. Sometimes it interests Ghanaians to see the face of a liar. He has come again. Let's go and listen to him. So So if you see people coming out, not everybody is coming out to listen to Bawumia's policy.
So what has he said that is a lie?
The people of Cape Coast, where is the airport? Mm-hmm. Where is the medical school in Tamale? Mm-hmm. Where are the secondary schools in Zongo communities? Mm-hmm. What is the exchange rate today? Are the fundamentals strong or weak? Under his watch, the self-acclaimed economic wizkid, our economy status, what is it today? Is it not junk? You, Lantam. This man, the performance of this Alaji, are you satisfied? Are you okay with the performance of this Alaji? Come on, let's don't go there.
Are you okay?
Why will I be okay? I'm a Ghanaian. You are a Ghanaian. Look, when I say I'm okay, somebody may say because Chris.
But when I greeted you, you said everything is fine.
This Alaji performance. Are you okay with the Alaji performance?
You are okay.
I am okay because I have life. God has given me life.
Yeah.
But the governance system, this is a weak, poor governance system.
All right. So into the free and fair elections.
The president comment that he's going to ensure free and fair elections. This president, Akufo-Addo, cannot be trusted. And we in the NDC don't trust him. The good, well-meaning Ghanaians don't trust him. Look, let me tell you something. Elections is not an event. It's a process. Elections, it's not an event, it's a process. When you are assuring people of free and fair elections, what measures are you putting in place to put confidence in people that these elections are going to be free and fair? The only institution that Ghanaians are looking up to be sure that the elections are free and fair is EC. When the EC is not credible, how will people accept results? If the institution in charge of elections is so porous as it is today, it's not credible, how do they give us credible elections? He sat here and said they are winning elections because of their strategy. What strategy? Listen to people in government. They are not telling us what they have done. The living standard, the living conditions of Ghanaians, they are not telling us the cost of just common water. They are not telling us. They are not telling us based on the cost of fuel prices, the rent, utility bills. Because they've reduced it, the market women and men are able to go out there to import and export because of the exchange rate, because it is good, they will win. They are not saying that. They are saying based on what strategy? With this your abysmal performance, what strategy? Apart from stealing strategy, apart from rigging election strategy, what other strategy do you have on good governance? On records? Zero. Listen to President. They say, oh, the election will be free and fair. When the EC, J. Mesa and Dr. Bosman has made their ears so hard like an elephant that they don't listen to anybody. You want to tell us elections are free and fair. The register that we are going to use for an election is questionable. We are saying that what we've discovered, the illegal transfers, transfer without root, the loss of laptops and BVDs, shows that this register is bogus.
So is that the evidence? Is that the evidence that you have provided?
I am giving you example. All these are evidence and examples.
Because the EC has said that, look, some of the issues that you've raised with regard to the illegal transfers, I mean, we found issues in Pusiga. We've dealt with it. What other issues do you have?
Thank you.
Because you're talking about over 250,000 transferred names.
Hold on.
If you have the evidence,
Lantam, hold on.
Show us the evidence. Bring the evidence.
Lantam, hold on.
You are not bringing the evidence.
Lantam,
so what do we do?
Hold on. I will answer your question.
Yes.
But for the vigilance of NDC, who knows that these illegal transfers were done in Pusiga, Tamale South, Abu Asebu, my boss place, and other places. But for the vigilance of NDC.
Well, we know of Pusiga. That's what the EC has.
I am saying that go and check Tamale South.
Yeah, but so if there's
you see that you're not aware of other places.
So if there is illegal transfers in Tamale South, send the evidence to the EC. Have you?
Why not?
Have you presented that evidence to the EC?
Why not? Why not?
Because the only thing the EC has talked about is Pusiga.
Let me.
And that is what the EC has taken out. But you are saying in Tamale South, in where? Abra, yes, and all of that. So present that evidence to the EC.
In Asnafu South.
So present
so many areas.
Have you presented that evidence to the EC?
We have given you evidence. And you come to tell us that the correction is done. And we say, look, we have discovered these illegalities in the register. For that matter, if you have done the corrections, you cannot cause a problem and tell us you have solved it alone. Let's sit down, come and prove to us. We have given you evidence of what we suspect to make the register bogus. And you say, oh, I've done the corrections. If you have done the corrections, let's sit together. Prove to us that the corrections are done. Few months to election, no register. As EC. Now, the only way we can all believe ourselves, this game is about trust. Let us trust you for the sake of credibility and transparency. Let's sit down. NDC is not saying that we want to sit down with EC alone. All other political parties, all well-meaning Ghanaians are singing the same song. Let's sit down, do forensic audit. Use your own MPP apparatchiks you appointed as EC officials. The so-called MPP IT men there. Let them be part. Let's do the audit. You say no. We are building a house. And someone suggests that, look, this house that we are building, let us put an iron gate. So that unauthorized people cannot get into the house. Someone say, oh, we shouldn't put the gate. If you put the gate, I will send you to court. These two people, which of them is criminally minded? Is it not the one who is against putting on the gate? And that is the position of MPP. Why do they have a problem? All political parties and well-meaning Ghanaians, civil society organizations, the opinion leaders are all saying that we should audit the register. Why is MPP and EC alone saying that they will not do the forensic audit? What do they have to write?
Because they say if you have any evidence, present
we
evidence.
have given, we are saying that we've given you evidence. Pusiga, Tamale South and the rest. You say you have done the correction. Let us see. The only way we can know that the corrections are done is to audit it. Lantam, this is simple. It takes people who are criminally minded to continue to disagree this legitimate call of NDC and all well-meaning Ghanaians. If it is NDC who want to cause trouble, what of Alan and his people? What of other well-meaning Ghanaians? Look, Mr. President, this kind of pretentious posture by West, thinking that you can convince Ghanaians after April fooling us for 8 years, you will not get it this time around by saying that you are supervising free and fair elections. Elections cannot be free when EC is not credible. Lantam, look, NDC has been patient enough. The Ghanaian people have been patient enough for this government, this clueless government. The first time we experienced political exposed persons occupying positions at EC is under Akufo-Addo. Do you know Amfukwache? You know Amfukwache? Akufo-Addo's, whether his brother or his uncle, Amfukwache, the man who was jailed on drugs from Chebi, his son, go and check, I'm saying this on record, his son is an IT consultant at EC. Amfukwache, Akufo-Addo's brother, the man who was jailed on drugs, the jail man, the son, is an IT consultant at EC.
Yeah, so because of that, it means
why?
What the EC is
MPP communicator, like I am sitting here, Dr. Piaget, is an appointee of EC.
There's no
Doctor. How will you feel?
There's no Dr. Piaget at EC.
Is it Apiaget?
There's no
the MPP communicator. In fact, I'll get the video and let you see.
There's no
Apiaget. Maybe I may not be getting the name right.
You mean Dr. Piahini?
Dr. Piahini, good one there.
Okay.
That's why I say I may not be getting the name right. All these people are there. Lantam, how will you feel My brother here, how will he feel if tomorrow President Mahama becomes president and Chris Dugan is appointed at EC? How will he feel? Lantam, you, how will you feel as a citizen? Would you feel some bias? Would you feel some bias? Sometimes we need to be fair. Look, what is causing problem? The challenge, the problem of this country is hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. People are not ready to speak truth to power. Why will we sit down to allow Akufo-Addo Bawumia corrupt government be packing MPP party apparatchiks to EC? Just because they are thinking of next elections. And we are also vigilant. The NDC has been very vigilant. Kudos to the IT, the election directorate led by Dr. Omani Boama. They are doing a marvelous job. And Ghanaians are with them. Look, the case is simple. If EC refuse,
you've sent a second letter to the EC, right?
This position they've taken, making their ears so hard like an elephant, they follow, that they are not ready to listen to anyone. We want to assure them. NDC want to assure them. And when meaning Ghanaian want to assure them that we are not ready to accept any results that will not reflect the will of people on 7th December from this bogus register.
What does that mean?
Why?
What does that mean?
The register is not credible. Any result that will come that doesn't represent the will of the Ghanaian people, it will be rejected.
But how will you know it doesn't represent the will of the Ghanaian people?
The kind of declaration they did.
But I want to decode what you are saying. That any results which will come,
we know
that doesn't represent the will of the Ghanaian people.
I'm saying that I know.
Do you know the will of the Ghanaian people? How
the
do you
will
know
of Ghanaian people is that the well-meaning Ghanaians, majority Ghanaians are going to vote for John Dramani Mahama and NDC.
How do you know that?
They are not ready to reward fraud. I told you.
But how do you know that?
They will reward fraud. Will you like to vote for a government, this government with impunity?
Bellamy,
would you like to vote for a government that lie?
Until the votes are cast on December 7th.
I am
and counted from every polling station and the numbers tally.
Lantam,
you will not know the will of people.
Was not so much like this, but you can come in.
You will not know the will.
That's my opinion. I'm saying that the will of Ghanaian people is that they are voting for the man who is coming to reset.
You can't say that for a fact.
Everybody wants reset. Don't you want reset? Don't you want reset? The way and manner they've destroyed this country. Would you like to vote for people to continue and be counting corruption money, licking their fingers and checking the amount? Would you like to vote for people to keep state money under their belts so that now you vote for them, they advance and be keeping it on top of ceilings? Would you like to do that? If you will not do that, send to others. The grounds are leveled. Go out there. Then go to trotro stations. Go to market women and men.
But when you speak, you know...
What is the story today? The story in 2016, when these guys were coming, chanting, lying left, right, center.
But what's
the story today?
When you make statements like, we will not accept any results, that doesn't reflect the will of the people. And you believe that the will of the people is that they vote for the NDC.
Why not?
No. And the elections happen. And the NDC doesn't win the elections. What do you think will happen?
For me, it cannot
with regard to
let me tell you.
So if the NDC, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
I'm giving you simple answer.
Let me ask you the question. Can I ask the question?
Let me
ask the question. Let me ask the question.
Ask me.
If we conduct elections today, and on December 7th, and everything is counted and everything, and it emerges that the MPP has won the elections,
with this register, we'll accept it.
Will you accept the results?
We will accept it.
So is it not dangerous the statements that we are making and inciting
I am saying that
supporters of the NDC to cause chaos and not accept the results of the elections?
NDC is ready to accept any results when this register is, if they allow forensic audit to take place. If we audit this register, we go into elections and Ghanaians decide. We are ready. We have done that before.
Okay.
But we are not going to sit down and allow this bogus register to decide for the people of Ghana. Let me tell you, NDC is not ready to be victims of peace again. And we will not allow ourselves to be cheated on the altar of peace again. It's over. There must be justice. If you want peace, justice first. Let's stop the hypocrisy. Why are they refusing to audit the register?
So if the forensic audit is not done, and then we conduct elections, you not accept the results of the elections.
Look, even if I would be used,
okay, so
as a sacrificial lamb,
but if
I will do it.
But if the elections are conducted
with this register,
with the forensic audits done,
yes,
with the forensic audits done,
yes,
and the elections are conducted, and then you win, you accept.
Yes, if we will accept,
and if forensic audit is not done, and you do elections and you win, you accept.
That is we will know the will of people is that.
You see,
I am saying that.
Yeah, I don't think you are doing NDC, us any favors by making comments like this. Because you see,
NDC, we are not
telling anybody people who watch and people who are leaders within political parties and people, I'm sure you have a following because you are a communicator. There are people who watch you and all of that. Aren't you preparing their minds for some sort of chaos?
I am not.
That is why I always encourage. I always encourage that the language that we use and the things that we say shouldn't be inciting people.
I will not be happy if you try to gag me.
I'm not gagging you.
No, so I've
allowed you to
speak. I'm saying that
you enough room
you
to
yourself,
speak.
you are a Ghanaian.
But I'm telling you,
President Akufo-Addo say be citizen.
The point that I'm trying to make is that you are saying
to speak to the truth.
The point that I'm trying to say is that
why are you not advocating for the audit?
Allow me to perform my role as the host. If a forensic audit is
your
not
role
conducted,
is not to gag me. Your role is to speak the truth.
I have not gagged
you.
So
speak the truth that we are making a legitimate call.
I've not gagged you.
Okay, let me also ask you a question.
Don't ask me a question.
Call legitimate or not?
Don't ask me a question.
Why we are asking for
I'm asking the questions here, and I'm saying that you say that if a forensic audit is not conducted, and you go into the elections,
we won't accept the results,
and NDC wins, you will accept the results.
Why not? That's the will of people.
That is the will.
We will
but
of
if
people.
NDP
They tried
wins,
to steal and they couldn't win.
You see, and that is the point I'm trying to make. And you say that I'm gagging you.
2016.
You see,
2016.
That's the point you are making. I say that I'm gagging you.
I'm giving you an example. 2016. This Alhaji lied through his teeth, as usual as he is, that he has Togo register, ECOWAS register, with evidence. The NDC government led by President Mahama encouraged that because for the sake of peace, they should give them a fair hearing. A committee was formed led by Justice Crab, late. Crab committee invited Baumia to bring the register. He couldn't provide any register. You make a call. He sat here and said, oh, they have contributed to the amendment of our electoral register and the rest. Anytime you are in opposition and you raise concerns, the ruling government listen to you. Why are you not doing so today in government to opposition party? Why are you not doing so? We are saying that, look, this case is simple. Apart from people having their mind to rig elections, apart from people fear power, people fear that they will be picked up, people fear that they will intimidate them they can't speak truth. This is simple. Yes, sir. We are asking for forensic audit. What is the problem of EC? If EC want to prove transparency, if EC wanted to believe them that they are credible, they should listen to us.
So nothing but an audited register.
If not, that will be simple. You accept
the results of the election. And you don't think that you are inciting anybody. But if the forensic, you see, I'm making the point again.
We were here when people made noise that their votes were not counted.
So the NDC, so you representing the NDC here today.
Yes.
Is saying.
My name is Chris Dugan. I'm saying that we will not accept any results.
If it's not audited.
We will not accept any results.
Any results.
President Mama,
whether it's for you or not. Let me be clear. Whether it's for you or not.
We will not accept any results in favor of anybody.
Except you.
You know it.
This is funny. Because
it is never funny.
No, the reason why I'm saying it's funny is that allow me here. The reason why, never funny. Hold on. Allow me here.
But
before we carry on.
Chris,
and don't come and say that. Hold on. And don't come and say that I'm gagging you because I've given you so much time to make your point.
We will not accept it. If
so the NDC's position this morning from Chris Dugan, Belami Dugan of the NDC is that if a forensic audit is not conducted on the voters register,
will not accept
and you go into the elections, and it is MPP that is declared winners,
we will accept
you will not accept.
We will not.
But if it is NDC that is declared winners, you accept.
Everybody knows the wind of change is blowing.
And if forensic audit is conducted and MPP wins, that's one you accept.
We have no problem.
And then if NDC wins, that's what you accept.
If NDC lose elections based on free and fair, we have no problem. But we will not accept the result.
And you don't think that you are laying the foundation for inciting followers,
whether
of the NDC
inciting or not, I am saying that all
run amok if elections don't go in your favor, because it could go either in the favor of the MPP or the NDC. At the end of the day, the people of Ghana will decide.
Let me tell you something.
Right? If you can potentially win, and that's a possibility.
Look,
the MPP can also potentially win. That's a possibility. You should keep that in mind.
Let me there.
Let me come back to fact.
No,
let me come back to fact. You have so much time to talk.
If they are sure
yes,
that they are not criminally minded, they are not in bed with MPP to rig election, they should let us audit the register.
All right, Fad, let me come back to you.
They should let us audit the register.
Let me come back to you on the issue.
Right, thank you very much.
Yes.
You see, my brother here called Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia a liar. He kept repeating the word liar, liar, liar over and over again. Then I asked myself, just because some few campaign promises that we made in this country that we couldn't fulfill, and at the back of that, he calls Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia a liar, right? I hope that's the assertion he made. Lantam, do you know very well, and I'm very happy we are from the north, right? Very interesting. In 2012, when John Mahama was campaigning to be president, he promised our brothers up north that he's going to establish a shell nut processing plant in all the 3 northern regions in 2012.
Where did he state it? Show us.
Pick your 2012 manifesto, advancing the better Ghana agenda. It is stated in there that when given the opportunity to be president of this country, I will establish a shell nut processing plant in all the northern regions. Show me one that he was able to establish, my brother. If you go to the western region, he promised them a cocoa processing factory in the western region to ensure that we process 60% of our local cocoa in this country, Lantam. Where are those factories? Are you serious? John Mahama promised us again in 2012 that in Bupe, that's one of my hometowns, right? He was going to develop a limestone. Oh, please. Oh, please, are you going to make me talk? Are you going to allow me to make my point?
Move on.
He promised that he was going to develop a limestone deposit in Bupe for cement manufacturing. That is John Mahama's home region. They should show us that limestone deposit he was able to establish. You see, we come and sit here just because we made some promises. And you see, we've never shied away from this fact that if you pick our 2016 manifesto, we've been able to achieve 80% of the promises we made in 2016. In 2020, we've been able to achieve 82%. Clearly, it's
80% and 82%. By what metrics? These are metrics that you yourself are putting out there.
We've made,
and by your own analysis
of the promises
we've
made.
Other people independently analyzing your manifesto promises. You yourselves are marking yourselves 80%. How convenient.
We made the manifesto promises, and our manifestos are still there. We can do the fast check. If you the manifesto, then we'll list them. You get the point? We are saying that if you've been able to achieve 80% of your promises, inherent in that statement clearly indicates that there are some 20% of the promises you've not been able to fulfill. And if that's the reason why they are calling Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia a liar, then clearly former President Mahama is one of the greatest political scams that has ever happened to this nation, because he promised our people in his home region, Savannah region, that he was going to develop a limestone deposit for cement manufacturing. Where is it? So please, when you come and sit here and you'll be throwing names and everything, let's be careful with that. And also, let me move forward. You see, I told you earlier on, and I'm very happy he went there, that they are preparing the grounds for defeat. And obviously, he sits here and blame others or call others being hypocrites. But see how hypocritical he was when you asked a very interesting question. If this same register is used in these elections and they win, would he accept the results? He indicated yes. But if they lose, they will not accept it. You see the hypocrisy in the NDC. Everybody watching us this morning should understand this. Election processes will never be perfect. Just like John Mahama said in 2016, that we don't have any perfect system in the world. Over and over again, you'll be improving upon it. And as you see, in the wisdom of the framers of our constitutions and the laws of this country, they indicated in the CIs for elections that exhibition exercise in itself is an audit. You accepted it in 2016. Why you find it very difficult to accept that same mechanism today? That's the question we are asking them.
Yeah, because they believe that there are discrepancies within the voters' register.
And this same discrepancies.
And like I asked you earlier, what will it take away from the EC or any other interested party if that forensic audit is conducted, just to engender confidence? Because now there is a certain perception, at least we know on the part of the NDC, that there is absolutely no trust in the EC. And if we are going into an election where a very major stakeholder of that election, has absolutely no trust in the credibility and independence of the Electoral Commission and the ability of the Electoral Commission to conduct free and fair elections with a credible register, it is problematic.
You see,
it is very problematic. So, would it take anything away from the EC if they actually conduct that forensic audit of the register? Because at the end of the day, it helps everybody. If you conduct a forensic audit and there's nothing wrong with the register, we move. If you conduct a forensic audit and there are issues with the register, it is dealt with and we move. It's a win-win for the country.
You see.
So why is there this seeming, pushback or resistance, seemingly, to a forensic audit? What will it take away from us if we do it?
Anton, the fundamental question in this discussion is that, do we have mechanisms or laid down procedures by law in addressing discrepancies on a voter register?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have them? I believe we have. The CI specify and stipulate all those laid down processes. Why are you not allowing the rules of the game being applied to this same situation? That's the question we are also asking. You see, if you do this today, in future, anything happening in this country, we're going to throw away the laws of this country and go by some people's way of thinking.
But conducting a forensic audit is not against the law.
That is,
it's not against
nobody
the law.
is against the law.
Yeah, it's not against
but
the law.
per the rules of elections in this country, as governed by the CI, indicates that if you identify any discrepancies on the voter register, I've already emphasized on it. I don't want to be repeating the words over here. We have laid down procedures you need to go through. Have you exhausted all those procedures? No. They get the point. So we need to be very careful how we jump the gun.
But at least they've been able to point
this.
to certain instances which the EC has
now,
also alluded to.
And
the EC is saying that they've dealt with. So now they are calling on the EC, okay, if you have addressed it, release the register to us. And the EC has not released the register. So now they say that the EC has something to hide. So why is the EC also not releasing the final voters register, for them to look and see if indeed what the EC is saying they've done. Is that also legitimate?
I think
that's also legitimate,
concern is that as party to these elections this morning, I'll use this as a platform to call on the EC to submit to all political parties or all qualified candidates in these elections the final register they've worked on per their statement. They should submit it to all parties involved and let them assess it.
Yeah.
And if there's any other discrepancies, they draw attention, you work on it, you submit it back to us. That is the only way, that's one of the ways to go, right?
So you agree with that?
I agree with that, and I'm also adding my voice to it.
Okay.
That the EC should submit what the corrections they've made on the register based on the discrepancies they've already identified. They should submit all this, the register to all parties involved and let all assess it. If there are any other discrepancies identified, we'll report back to the EC. Then the EC will work on it. But sitting here and beating war drums is something I want us to look at it again, my brother. You remember very well, somewhere January 2021, after the presidential elections in America, Donald Trump made similar statement like this. And what was the result of it? One of the riots that happened in America. And as we speak today, my brother, over 1,000 people in America are in prison as a result of that demonstration. So we need to be guided in some of the statements we make on national television. In as much as you disagree, one needs to be a bit careful. Some of the reckless statement needs to be, and I'm very happy you were trying to tell him, press attention to some of the reckless statement he made. But unfortunately, he kept on and on and on. Ghanaians out there, and we are saying this again, Ghanaians, we are very certain that based on our achievement, because, one of the interesting things the President said during the address, that he has provided education to over 5 million young Ghanaians of this nation, right? As we speak, these 5 million Ghanaians out there, majority of them will be voting. And as good as it is, was a policy given to them, they are going to make a decision in this election. So if we say we're winning this election on strategies, we are clear, convinced in our mind that our achievement, our performance, and the solutions we are professing for the future, at the back of that, we are going to win this election. Beyond that, we don't have any other means of winning. We don't know any other means of winning elections. And that is the New Patriotic Party. And that is in our DNA. We know any other means beyond campaigning, advancing your cause, and speaking on your achievement.
All right.
If you see, let me conclude this. The posture the NDC is giving us this today is that in 2016, when they were in office, they were using the EC to their advantage. That's what they are trying to tell us this morning. In 2016. Because for all the analysis, the narrative he has created so far, is that the names being mentioned. You see, Afrajan told us in the past that one individual at the head office of EC cannot change elections in this country.
Can the MPP absolve yourselves of blame for engaging in that kind of behavior and those kinds of accusations? Because all manner of things were said by NPP people about Charlotte Osei in the 2016 elections.
And what was the response?
You said
from
all
them?
kinds of things.
And what was the response from them?
And you don't trust Charlotte Osei.
And what was where the
Charlotte
response?
Osei this, Charlotte Osei that, and this and that.
See,
and then you brought in the issue of the Togolese, register and went to do the presentation. I think was it at the Alisa Hotel and all, because you didn't trust the EC and you wanted the EC to take certain steps A, B, C, D to be done. And now the EC is making calls like that, and it seems to be a bit problematic for the NPP.
Some
is that not a bit hypocritical?
Some successes were achieved in 2016. You remember the deletion of names of registered with the Ghana health insurance card? You remember?
Yes.
Some successes were achieved.
Yes.
Throughout the concerns we raised. Right?
Yes.
So we shouldn't call it a hypocritical.
Yeah. So I mean, then you shouldn't dismiss the NDC's call for a forensic audit.
See, we are not dismissing their calls for forensic audit. What we are saying is that lay down all the evidence to bear. Let everybody. You see, per what I said earlier on, the deputy in charge of elections, right, Dr. Computer, Tanko Computer, they've met some people in this country. They've shown them the evidence. I think they will do us greater good if this morning Sami Jemfi, the National Communications Officer of the NDC, as good as he is with PowerPoint presentation, he should show us all the evidence on national televisions. The Ghanaians can add up voices to what they are saying. But if not that, they're only exaggerating the allegations and also creating the grounds for defeat. Very well. That's what they are preparing followers for. Thank you very much.
You're still watching GH today. We'll take a very short break here and return and then do the final round of submissions, and then before we wrap it up. Stay tuned. This is GH today. We'll be right back.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Miss Africa awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. The van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICCU, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience who are also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because on a production you see a number of people in the van, and so if you have a very small van, it means that it's going to be choked, and that will affect the creativity as well. The price has been discounted as well to accommodate varied budgets, and so no matter the budget you have, I understand you can have the truck and do business with it.
It looks huge but very affordable. Cost is really affordable. My experience with it, EMI awards last year, super excellent. Try it, call them, and I'm going to give you the best of price. Really affordable.
Today here on GH1 Television, my guests in the studio today on GH Today from the NDC, we have Chris Belami Dugan, a member of the communications team of the NDC, and Fad Osman, who is a member of the communications team of the NPP. Let's talk about Democracy Hub and some of the protesters who have been remanded. A lot of them have not been given bail. The first batch, the second batch went in yesterday, about 11 of them. Bail applications were moved, but there wasn't enough time to hear the side of the prosecution. And so later on today, we'll find out if those individuals will be given bail. But there are calls on the Attorney General to release these individuals. You support those calls?
Yes, of course. But let me clear this quick. Lantam, you see,
do it. Do it in 1 minute.
Yeah,
do it in 1 minute.
I don't know how old is this my brother in his political activism, not his age.
Right.
I'm only questioning or asking his political age.
Okay.
Because I am surprised he has the effrontery to sit here this morning to describe certain comments as reckless. When your former youth organizer, Samia Oku, could irresponsibly say that if Charlotte Osei leadership did not listen to them, they will use broken pistols to defend themselves during elections. I don't know whether he was living Jupiter or Mars, or by then he was a toddler in politics. If he was indeed grown, I don't think he will sit here. I have the temerity to decide which comment is reckless. When we are calling for the scrutiny of the register, you call it reckless? You don't see it necessary to condemn the irresponsible posture of EC and your government.
But
ordinary Ghanaians who are calling for scrutiny.
But I think the calls come on sort of making statements like, if the results come, we will not accept the
people,
results.
Listen,
and it's the will of the people and all of that.
Today
that incites people not to accept the outcome of elections. And those things don't help. I think that's the point that we are trying to make over here.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Look,
let's move.
His bosses.
And I think it goes for
those
both
who are throwing their way today, knocking their chest like Goliath in this country.
And I think it goes for both political parties.
Very wide, irresponsible comments. And it's
that is fair. You see, and let me just lay this.
And people think it is wrong today.
Very well, Chris. And let me just lay this. I think it goes for both political parties, because we've heard the Brian Champongs and co say what
that is not irresponsible.
And we've also heard in the NDC, also say what they will say. The point, bottom line here is that comments from Party A like that and Party B like that does not help. And both parties will do well to desist from making such comments. And we will make that point forcefully here on this platform. It doesn't matter whether it is the MPP and Brian Champong who are saying things which have the potential to incite MPP, supporters. And we have said it on many occasions here on this platform and condemned it. And if the NDC and communicators like you also say things like that, we will sit on this same platform and condemn it, because regardless of where it is coming from, it does not help. So let's move on.
So the energy he has gathered this morning to subject my comment as reckless, he should gather that energy to look into the face of his bosses, the likes of Samuel Oko and Brian Chapo, and tell them that their conduct is of course irresponsible and reckless. Then we take it from there.
That's fair enough.
Look,
let's move.
Lantam.
Yes.
I want to tell you the hypocrisy of this president, the Akufo-Addo and the Alaji administration. I will make a statement and I will read it to you.
Okay.
17 September 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me just refer to what this president, who has been unmasked and known to be a flip-flopper with his vice president, has done. You remember Occupy Ghana?
Yes.
Under Mama administration.
Mm-hmm.
They came out to demonstrate. They went to office of the president, was misbehaving. So the police have to pick all of them, led by Esenkuma and the rest. When these gentlemen were picked by police just for questioning, Akufo-Addo cheated. Here is it. It's a brute force by the police against unnamed citizens exercising their constitutional right should be a thing of the past. Akufo-Addo, this is 17th September 2015.
Mm-hmm.
The man who is a serial demonstrator, President Akufo-Addo, who is known as a serial demonstrator in this country, was saying this in opposition, even questioning the demonstrators, those who came to protest with their misconduct, was condemned and is going to be thing of the past under his watch. Citizens who came out to demonstrate their constitutional right, irrespective of their misconduct during the demonstration, which are condemned, have been reminded and refused bail under his watch. This is the man who is going around telling us that he will supervise free and fair elections. How credible is he? How do we trust you when he sees you? The man who cannot stand by his words. The man who say A today, tomorrow he say B. These are records. Lantam, you are a journalist, you can check. I will not sit
You've
here.
already read
this
it.
is a big platform.
You've already read it.
Akufo-Addo, with his serial demonstration he did in this country with disrespect and impunity to the leadership of GHOne Rawlings and even the late Mills, nobody arrested him. Nobody has arrested him. This is the man who demonstrated and people lost lives in this country. Papanko. Was he arrested? Was he called to books?
Yeah, but some of the people in the Kumipreko demonstration who engaged in acts of vandalism were arrested.
I'm saying that when there is a demonstration,
yes, he led it,
and there is distraction,
yes,
the organizers are picked up. The organizers are brought to book. They are questioned. Was he? These are records. Was he?
But in this particular instance, some of the organizers who have been arrested from the
he was the leader, the main organizer.
Yeah, so he was the main organizer. But let me ask you this:
agreed.
Did we see? Yes, he was.
Facts.
Obviously, we all know that.
When people died.
But did we see President Akufo-Addo himself then engage in any illegal acts of vandalism?
When you organize,
who was leading? No, let me ask you this: who was leading the demonstration? Did we see that? Did we see that?
I cannot say yes or no.
Exactly. But in this particular instance with the Democracy Hub, the organizers who have been picked up together with some of the other demonstrators are visibly seen engaging in acts that are not lawful.
That's what I'm saying.
And they have been picked up.
Lantam, that's what I'm saying.
Let's be fair to the facts.
That's what I'm saying. That.
Yes.
I condemn certain misconduct during the demonstration.
Okay.
But this president, this same Akufo-Addo, when people came out to demonstrate at the office of the president and misconduct themselves, and police called them to question them, this president issued a statement. He twisted, condemning the call of police. What is happening today under his watch? Isn't it prudent for us to question the president's credibility, the truth in him? Isn't it prudent for us to question president consistency? What has changed today? Upon all you doing serial demonstrations, no one has touched you, nobody has invited you. You were here just recently. Let's forget of the 95 and the rest. Just recent one. Occupy Ghana. When police picked them to headquarters to question them, Akufo-Addo was sitting at Nima here, writing statement, bragging, and attempt to deceive Ghanaians that he's a human rights lawyer, so he's concerned. He believes in law. The man who believes in law, under your watch, the Ghanaian citizens have come out to demonstrate against you and your parachickens destroying the water bodies. The most essential commodity we have in this country is water. It's water. And these people are demonstrating. Agreed. They want in an extreme manner. Agreed. Your so-called beliefs in human rights. Isn't it prudent you look at it on the face of the law and say, look, this thing I've condemned before, I should condemn today. Under your watch, people are remanded. After people have destroyed water bodies, your regional party chairman in Ashanti region, would to me, can sit on a television said, showing gold. Where did he get the gold from?
Well, he has license to mine gold.
He has license. We were here. Abu Jinapo.
Yeah.
Akufo-Addo's own minister.
Yeah.
Didn't you hear him? You heard him.
Yes.
He said, "Who to me company Akunta Mining didn't have any requisite document to go into forest."
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that they don't have legal mining concessions.
I'm saying that if
they engaged. No, it's a fact. They engaged in acts of illegality, which was confirmed.
So you have,
but that doesn't also mean that they don't have legal mining concessions.
That's what I'm not saying that it doesn't have.
So let's be fair to the facts.
Having a company doesn't mean that you can mine. If you have a company,
you can mine outside the bounds of.
Yes, if the authority has not given you the requisite document,
you can't.
Whatever you are doing is illegal.
Yeah, that's fact.
You have a party chairman arrogantly displaying the illegal gold that he wants to mine.
We don't know if that gold was illegal or not.
Mineral Commission said he wanted and did mining. He didn't have documents.
You are not getting what I'm saying.
We all believe that is part of the illegal gold he wants to mine.
Okay, that's your belief. Okay.
It's not my belief. It's what the authorities are saying. His own minister.
No.
Two. Look.
No.
We all know. Who doesn't know Papanko are doing woman organizer? Who doesn't know that their woman organizer, MPP own woman organizer, was doing illegal mining? If she's not doing illegal mining, how come her excavators were banned?
There are those rumors as well.
Who doesn't know? Yeah. Go and read Professor Frimpong report. Who doesn't know that these galamseyers, that was the law, he set a committee, they should investigate, they should find galamsey. The secretary he appointed, Charles BTU, was taking money, corruption money, to allow the people to go and destroy our water bodies, counting the money and licking his fingers. Who doesn't know that? This was graphic. It's not Chris Buchan to tell you. It was graphic. Everybody saw it. That Akufo-Addo, presidential staffer Charles BTU, who is struggling to be an MP, which of course he cannot be, was licking his fingers and counting corruption money to pocket himself for Ghanaians to die.
Do you see him licking his fingers?
You saw it. It was graphic. He will count and lick it to see whether the money is up or not.
That's not true. We didn't see.
That is the level we have seen.
We didn't see him licking his fingers.
That's the level of corruption we have seen. But he counted money.
But yeah, we saw money being collected.
Whether the wheel swallow Jonah or Jonah swallow wheel,
there was a swallow.
There was a swallow.
Okay.
Once he count money, he was licking his fingers.
Okay.
Graphic.
Very well.
And in conclusion,
yes.
you see, this government has failed the Galamsey fight. That is a fact.
I don't disagree.
Look, that also, you say?
I don't disagree.
Look, that is why Ghanaians have come into realization that this leadership is principled leadership. It is a corrupt leadership. It is a leadership that is born out of lies. When you call Bamia a liar and they say campaign promises, they promise and they couldn't fulfill some, they have 80%. John Dramani Mama and NDC also promised he's also a liar. Look, these things will not wash.
But that's the analogy you
That's
made.
what I'm saying, that it will not wash.
Back to you.
President Mama has never gone to them and worked.
Your analogy for Baumia being a liar is that he didn't fulfill promises.
Right, he said it.
So if they say the same against Mahama,
John, apart from stating something in a manifesto, John Dramani Mama as an individual has not gone to stand and look into the face of chiefs, his own people, and say, hey, good news is coming. Airport and harbour, Cape Coast. How can you lie to that extent?
So John Mahama hasn't made promises that he has not fulfilled before.
I'm saying that.
He has.
Don't you know that?
John Mahama has never stood on the campaign platform
Lantam,
and made a promise.
You don't need Chris to tell you that this man is a shameless liar. Let me give you another example.
No, it's okay.
President Mahama has not supervised any project within the northern regions.
Okay.
That $12 million has been wasted.
Let me come to Fad finally because of time.
When you see Bamia went to...
Thank you very much, Chris.
Bamia went to Asampa and say, oh,
thank you very much,
signature project they have in the political. What happened?
Fad, let me come to you now.
This is the man who lied and 18-year-old girl...
Demonstrators have been arrested, remanded, denied bail. There are calls for them to be released. Where do you stand with regard to those calls?
All right, thank you very much, Lantan. I believe it's fair that when we find ourselves at places like this, where we discuss issues of national interest, we should be a bit careful the way we throw words around. And as I indicated, you see...
please, Chris, when you were speaking, he was quiet. He's always quiet when you are speaking, so allow him.
I respect our viewers. People are...
Fad, carry on.
All right, thank you very much. You see, he made a very funny analysis of the issue of campaign promises not fulfilled and trying to run away from the statement he made initially. Lantan, you see, in 2012, John Mahama, and let me say this, What are manifestos? What are manifestos about, Lantam? That are the official document of any political party, right? Based on the promises they are making, right? That are the manifestos. So if in 2012 you stated in your manifesto that you'll be giving 20%, my brother, of basic salary to teachers at deprived areas in 2012, and you couldn't give them, you tell me that's not a lie?
All right, I think those points
Let me move forward. No problem.
The demonstrators, yes.
And also,
we have to wrap up.
I'll come there.
Yes.
You see,
let's just move through because we don't have time.
No problem.
So let's stick to the issue.
This issue on Galamsey. Thank you very much. Yes. This issue on Galamsey, I think we've all raised the concerns that looking at the fight so far, not with this government alone, previous fight, and I have a lot of.
But do you agree that your government has failed in the
Galamsey fight? I will not completely say government has failed. You see, the challenge is that
government has been unsuccessful in the fights.
Well, if that's the choice of word you want to use, I leave that to you. You see, I wanted to share some little information. I saw back 2014. That's 2014. Ghana to import water soon. 2014, March 17. March 26, 2014. 16 Ghanaians arrested over Galamsey. These are all news items.
Yes.
See, it goes on and tells you that the approach in which we've been using in dealing with this Galamsey menace has not been that successful. Why? Because there are some factors we also talked about that if you look at the cost of Galamsey in this country, to a large extent, has been an institutional factors. For instance, he made mention of Akonta Mines.
Yes.
Akonta Mines has been in existence far, far beyond the existence of this Akufo-Addo's administration. Under your administration, Akonta Mines was in existence, mining, where he had some of his excavators being bent down. Is he aware of that? Is he aware former President John Mahama, when he was president, invited Chairman Untumi internally to discuss issues related to Akonta Mines? Is he aware of that? We come and sit here and lie, and out of this, you call somebody a liar. Oh, please, my brother, I keep quiet and looked at you, not because I can't respond to some of the issues you say. I can do exactly that. But for the respect of our viewers, I kept quiet. So please keep quiet. My brother, in this country, Akonta Mines has been in existence way far, far beyond the birth of this administration. So when you come and sit here and say the man displayed gold on television and because of that, what happens? You see, some of these reckless statements, and I'll repeat them, they are reckless statements.
But it's also fact that Akonta Mining went into a forest reserve that they were not supposed to go into.
This is the statement
and they were there. And later on, a journalist went there and had evidence that Akonta Mining was actually mining in that forest reserve, which was illegal.
That's not an
evidence. And the
president,
stood on a platform and said, as we speak, Akonta Mining is not engaged in any illegal mining activity. When it was found out, indeed,
this week,
Akonta Mining was there.
This week on this your platform, a news item was released. I don't know, I've forgotten the reporter with one IGS mining site.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
She had applied for the prospecting license. Yes. She has been given. She had applied for mining license. She has been given. Unfortunately, she goes to a site and people are on the site mining. I hope you've seen the news item.
Yes.
These people, she don't even know them. That's the same similar situation that happened with Akonta Mines. They had applied for mining license in forest reserves. Unfortunately, as they are waiting for their licensing to come in, some people went to the site to engage in some of these mining activities.
Really?
Which the statement from the company. Please, this is a statement from the company.
Yeah.
Indicates that they had no knowledge of the mining activities ongoing in that particular concession. We can discuss the merit of it.
Yeah, but the signboard of Akonta Mines.
Oh, you had your time to talk. What is all this, Lantam? I will not entertain this from him. What is all this recklessness from you? Please, with all due respect. Let me finish my point. Now, as I indicated, you see,
and I already made that point anyway, so you don't have to come in because I already made that point.
My brother, the challenge is that from where I sit and from the little information I have come to understand about this mining sector is that, you see, some of the challenges that leads to this illegal mining activities is the institutional mechanisms, licensing regimes, monitoring, evaluation, and some regulation regimes, which has not been that much successful in over the years. That's why when we came to office, we decided to decentralize operations of some of these of government state institutions to have a closer, should be closer to this mining site to be able to monitor the operations very well. As we speak, currently, we have a Minerals Commission office in Ashanti region being constructed. We have one in Eastern region being constructed. We have one in the Savannah region, as we speak, in Bole being constructed to ensure this mining licensing regimes to deal with the challenges. And secondly, you see, this has been one of the challenges being confronted within the mining sector, social corporate responsibility. If you look at some of the factors that leads to this illegal mining has been social factors where people within the mining community feels neglected. or marginalized by these mining companies.
Yeah.
I want to use the opportunity to call on these mining companies. You cannot mine the gold in a community and not give back to the society. Just building school alone is not enough.
Okay.
So to end on this,
all right,
the demonstration that happened over the week that has brought all these discussions. My brother, let's not also forget that we have laws in this country. You have rights. I have rights. You want to demonstrate. Please, your demonstration should not infringe upon my rights. We have patients who were left in traffic on this particular day in front of 37 military hospital who couldn't get access to healthcare. Have we also talked about that? We need to make those discussions too. Have we also found opportunity? Have we also gone out there to ask people who were stranded as a result of what happened on that particular day? We are not saying you cannot demonstrate, but please, when you are demonstrating, ensure that you don't infringe upon the right of others.
Very well,
that's
Fad.
what we are saying.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you very much.
opportunity.
Fad Osman is a member of the MPP's communications team, and thank you very much for joining us. And Chris Belami Dugan is a member of the NDC's communications team. Thank you very much for coming. This is where we'll end the breakfast review segment. There's still more to come here on GH Today. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching GH Today here on GH1 Television, and we've got another conversation, about the Extreme Grace Mandate. We want to find out what it's all about and how you can be a part of the Extreme Grace Mandate. And so my guests are from the Glorious City Church. They are here in the studio. Aaron and Alexander are here in the studio. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Are you bringing blessings and grace, extreme grace? I can see the grace of God upon your lives.
Yes. We are
bringing. We want to tap into the grace this morning. So let us tap into the grace. Yes. What is the Extreme Grace Mandate about?
Okay, so the Extreme Grace Mandate is a major event we've had for the past 10 years. This is our 10th edition.
Wow.
Yes, it's been going on for a decade. And its main focus is on souls, salvation. Everything we do about Christianity and about God, if it has nothing to do with the coming of the kingdom of God, then we are probably doing something else. So the main objective, the main vision of Extreme Grace Mandate, as given to God's servant, Prophet Kwame Osanjan, is for souls.
For winning souls. Preaching the gospel and winning souls, bringing people to the saving knowledge of Christ.
Yes.
So let's talk about the man who is leading this Extreme Grace Conference. And obviously, he carries a lot of grace from God.
Yes, please. Thank you very much for this question. Prophet Daniel Kwame Osanjan is a man sent from God, and by the grace of God and by the leadings of the Spirit of God, he has blessed many lives, and he has been a blessing to a lot of people. And God gave him this vision when he was in the UK some years ago, to come to Ghana to be a blessing to his people. And by the grace of God, we have had a lot of testimonies and a lot of miracles from the work that he is doing. So he's a very simple man of God, filled with the Spirit of God. He don't just do things, he do things by the leadings of the Spirit. And I know this Extreme Grace Mandate that God gave him is going to be a blessing to people. So we are encouraging people to come.
So you've been doing this for 10 years, right?
10 solid years.
Tell us some of the things, that have been happening at this Extreme Grace Conference.
Okay, so as I said, the major excitement for us is the salvation of people. So we've had countless people give their lives to Christ, which is our modus operandi. We've had people being healed of diverse diseases. We've had people have had prophetic interventions, and when something evil is about to happen, and God through his manservant has spoken, and things have been diverted, as it were. Yes. So these are some of the notable things that we can talk about. Most importantly, salvation of people.
So then what do people expect to experience when they come for this Extreme Grace Mandate program? In terms of, I'm coming. What should I expect to experience?
You expect to hear the unadulterated word of God.
Yeah.
You expect to encounter the tangible presence of God. You expect to be ushered into a different level of prayer and worship, and you expect excellence of service delivery. You expect an up and doing protocol team ushering you and everything. You expect to carry something significant. You expect to have an encounter with God that would last you a lifetime. Yes.
All right. So these are some of the expectations as we're going into this year's zone. So where is the Extreme Grace Mandate happening? Where?
Okay, Extreme Grace Mandate is happening in Kumasi.
Osekro?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And precisely, it's happening at KNUST Pensa Auditorium, IEDSA. That is tomorrow. We started the program Monday, and there has been a lot of activities. On Monday, we had a float in Kumasi, and on Tuesday, we had another session also. And yesterday was the medical aspect. We had free screening for people. And today, we are having a worship night to thank God.
Worship night?
Yes, please.
So you are on your way to Kumasi?
Exactly.
I think I have to follow you.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Free ride.
And it's going to be a blessing by the grace of God. We have Minister Sandy Asare being part of the Glorious City Choir ministering tonight, and it's going to be a blessing.
Wow.
And tomorrow happens to be the D-Day.
Okay.
When I say the D-Day, that is the final of the program.
Right.
And it's going to be an all-night session whereby God will visit his children tomorrow.
And that's still happening in Kumasi?
Yes, please.
At Ayediase?
Ayediase.
The Pensa Auditorium?
The Pensa Auditorium. That's where the program is going to happen. But with the worship night is happening at our church premises.
Okay.
That is at Maxima Junction, the Glory City Church right there. When you get to
in Kumasi,
yes,
Maxima Junction.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Where the Guelph filling station is, it's just close to that place. So tomorrow is the final day.
Wow.
And we are encouraging people to come. It's going to be a blessing.
So this evening there's worship.
Yes, please.
And tomorrow there is a massive service, all-night service,
yes,
where extreme grace from God Almighty is going to abound. Yes, beautiful stuff. Thank you very much, gentlemen. What would you say finally as we're wrapping up?
Okay, so I'd like to invite all and sundry, everyone. Tomorrow, Ayediase KNUST Penta Hall is where you must be. God has a man set apart. God is waiting to have an encounter with you. Don't be at one particular place. Don't stay at home. Come and you'll be blessed. Come and you'll be blessed. God bless you and see you.
Come one, come all, come and be blessed. Come and experience extreme grace. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Aaron and Alexander Kwache, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio. So you heard it. Make your way to Kumasi. If you're in Kumasi already, Maxima is not, I mean, when you're coming from, Angloga, you're coming headed towards Tech, Maxima is there. Just go there and experience it. And of course, for those of you at KNUST, Ayediase, you know that's where all the hostels are. Just find the Pensa Auditorium. It's very easy to find. Just go there and let's experience some extreme grace. You're still watching GH Today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Miss Africa awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. The van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew. ICCU, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter or host in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live.
Wishing people a happy birthday. If it's your birthday today, we're saying a big happy birthday to you, and we love you, even if your name is not mentioned here. But our first birthday wish goes to Fire Officer Adam Day Tutu. So a big happy birthday to you. God bless and protect you as you protect others. And this is from Edem Day Tutu. So happy birthday to you, officer. And this is our next birthday wish to Sophia Pepraba. Happy birthday to you, Sophia Pepraba. And this is from your husband Seth, the kids, and all your siblings, especially Lady, as we say, God bless you and keep you safe for us to enjoy the day with a lot of fun. And so big happy birthday to you, Sophia. God bless you, live long and prosper. And this is from your family. All right, and happy birthday to Francis and Felix Toto. Yeah. God bless all of you. God bless all of you. We love you. Yes, Francis and Felix Toto. Francis is with us here at GH1 TV. Great guy. And of course, his brother, Felix. We love you. Live long and prosper. May all your heart's desires come to pass. Our next birthday wish goes to Grace Baba Sam. Grace Baba Sam. Happy birthday to you. May your day be filled with love, with laughter, and unforgettable moments. All right, Stephanie Oforiwa is our next birthday celebrant. So Stephanie Oforiwa, happy birthday to you. And you're a former intern here at the GH1 newsroom, student of the University of Media, Arts and Communications, UNIMAC. And may the countenance of God continue to locate you and grant you your heart's desires. Long life and good health and abundant blessings to you. And this is from your friends at the GH1 TV newsroom. So happy birthday to you, Stephanie Oforiwa Dafor. Big happy birthday from everyone here at GH1 TV to you. Our next birthday wish is to Albert. Happy birthday to you, Albert. God bless you. Live long and prosper. Wishing you a great birthday and a memorable year, Stephanie Dafor. We've already wished Stephanie a happy birthday, right? We've already wished Stephanie a happy birthday, but this one is a special one from Evelyn Araba Edu, who is from our newsroom. But all of us at the newsroom, we've already said happy birthday to you, Stephanie. Shows you that a lot of us here love you, Stephanie. A lot of us here love you. So happy birthday to you. So we're bringing you our video of the day, and this is a special request and a throwback to all our birthday celebrants. So if it's your birthday today, this song is for you. It's a throwback Thursday. Let's enjoy it. Welcome back to the show. This is GH Today here on GH1 Television, and let's talk about Life Check. What is Life Check? We want to find out what Life Check is all about and how Life Check can be beneficial to you. And so joining me in the studio for this discussion is Pastor Jamie Labi. He is a youth pastor, I believe, with the EWC, that's the Empowerment Worship Center, right? Thank you very much for joining us here in the studio. It's great to have you. And also here is Gillian Salter, who is also the head of finance for EWC, right?
Exactly.
Thank you very much for joining us here in the studio. We're happy to have you. So what is Life Check? What is Life Check?
Of course, thank you, Lantam, and thank you for giving us this platform. Thanks to your awesome viewers. Life Check is the Empowerment Worship Center's annual medical outreach and back to school program. Now, EWC, we're a church for the de-church and the unchurched, but every year we do so many things, but one of which is so key to us is Life Check. Is where we step out to be the arms and feet of Jesus. It's under the auspices of the Empowerment Care Foundation.
Right.
That's our, so to speak, corporate social responsibility. And it's under the leadership of our global lead pastor, Pastor Gideon Danso. So we step out, we do back to school items, we give out bags, we give out books, we give out amazing medical relief, surgical care, dental care, eye care, free NHIS registrations. It's a whole package. We even give out food and even clothes to people. It's just a time where we step out just to show the love of Christ in a language that normally no one would understand unless we actually show it practically. Or I like how our globally pastor puts it. Many people will not know your Jesus by the Jesus you preach, but by the love you show. So we're exactly doing that, to step out and to reach out.
All right, so this is something that you've been doing annually.
Yes.
So let's zoom into this year. What would be the specific objectives for this year's Life Check?
This year we're targeting about 15,000 people. When we began in 2014, we reached out to 400 people. But clearly, as scripture says, open your mouth wide and I will fill it. So we went from 400 people to 15,000. The thing that's different this time is that we're actually going into the community.
Right.
Historically, we've actually done it in the four walls of our church. But now we're actually going target areas. And this time we're at Teshi Camp 2. And we're starting at 9 o'clock. Teshi this time around, next year, who knows where God will lead us to. But we keep trying to penetrate into the society and kind of serving the underserved.
Right. So you talk about back to school, you talk about medical outreach. So what types of medical services will be available during the Life Check?
There's quite a lot available. We're doing not only basic checking, we've got lots of doctors and lots of lab technicians, nurses.
Right.
We're running anemia, hepatitis. We're doing diabetes screening. We're doing eye care, dental. We're doing minor surgeries, hernia. We're actually covering a lot of the basic services where people typically need that, but they can't even afford the basic healthcare.
Right. So is it open to everybody? Can anybody and everybody, or are there specific groups of people?
Everybody. There's absolutely, this is open to all people. Really, we're trying to capture all God's people.
All God's people.
All God's people.
That's right.
So it's everybody.
That's refreshing to hear. So what about the back to school segment? What about that? Tell us about that.
So we're so excited about that. You know, it's the academic year, a new time, and people are going back to school, new term. And for many people who are privileged, it's a time where they're excited to go back and go and study. But for many more who may not have the means, they go back to school with the burden of they having to get books, having to get bags, having to take care of their shoes. But by God's grace, we are giving them an amazing branded bag.
Okay.
That's it right there.
All right, so these are one of the bags that are being given.
Yes,
that's a beautiful black bag.
Yes, that's a beautiful
I want
black
one.
Bag. We got one.
Can the Life Check reach me too?
Yeah, it can
my
reach you as well. It can reach you as well. So we're giving out bags, we're giving out shoes, there's exercise books in there. It's just a great time to make a kid smile.
Right.
We've got shoes for them.
Okay.
It's a brilliantly designed shoe.
And we're reaching over 5,000.
Over 5,000 people.
5,000.
And everyone is getting one.
And
okay, so you're getting a backpack, you're getting shoes, beautiful shoes, you're getting exercise books. I'm seeing some exercise books in there as well. Wow.
Books, you've got the pens and pencils.
And it's just to help them go back more confident, more focused on their studies, just to be prepared But I love something special about this year's life. Yes, for your water.
Wow.
Nicely branded.
Wow.
For your water as well.
This is beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're doing the Lord's work. We're doing the Lord's work.
And something special about this year's back to school, we also want to send out every kid or every child with a freshly cut hair, or give them a fresh haircut.
Oh, free haircuts.
Free haircuts.
I always look forward to that as a young person, and so we just want to give that back to.
All right, that's brilliant stuff. So, what role do sponsors and partners play in ensuring the success of Life Check? And if you can mention some of them briefly.
We have had fantastic partners, and we continue to look for more and more partners. We have partners from your team, GHOne.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, as well as Star FM. Both of them have been our media sponsors, and it's been excellent. We've also had hospitals like GHOne and the Pentecost Hospital. We've had our Empowerment Care Foundation, which is the fundamental, with Prophet Gideon Dancer being, that was the vision. The vision belonged to Prophet Gideon Dancer, and then he exploded it, and we carried the vision. And our partners, we continue to look for more partners to help us, because it's something that touches the nation. And we kind of, let's care for one another. And I think that's great.
Brilliant stuff. So finally, what are the details of the event? The dates, the venue, how people can participate, get more information, all that stuff as we're wrapping up.
Well, as we said, it's EWC Live Check, and it's happening this Saturday, 28th of September, at the Camp 2 School Park, Teshi. Huge park. Come out, come in your numbers. It's free. It's open to everybody in the community. We're serving everybody in the neighboring communities. Teshi Nungwa, Teshi, Chado. If you're in that area, this is for you. It's free. It's open. And you can still be a part of that. You can sponsor a child. You can feed a child. And you can sponsor a child or feed a child by simply calling us or texting 059-855-5295. That's 059-855-5295. It's this Saturday, EWC Live Check.
All right. Live Check, EWC Live Check. Thank you very much. And you're doing the Lord's work, like I said, reaching out to the poor and the vulnerable in society and everybody who needs to be touched by God, right? So being the light of the world and letting the light shine so bright that men may see the good works and glorify our Father in heaven, right?
Amen.
Yeah, so that's it for this segment. Jillian. Slater, sorry. Slater. Thank you very much. And Pastor Jamie, thank you very much.
Pastor yourself.
No, I'm not. I am not. I have not been called by God yet. I don't know if it is coming. But anyway, thank you very much. We'll have to wrap up here. Before we go, though, we have one more birthday wish to get out of the way. And this one is happy birthday. From Reverend Albert Osabute to Reverend Gideon Osabute. May the heavens celebrate your new age. May seasons and out of seasons work for you in your favor. And may nations and the world be open to you. May you find peace and comfort in all that you do. Happy birthday to you, Gideon Osabute. We love you. All right. And on that birthday note, we'll wrap up GH Today here on GH1 Television. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow with the Friday edition. My name is Lantam Papanko. Have a great day.